Yeah, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live. Welcome to a special edition where we are going to go ahead and we are going to do a wrap of NBA All-Star 2025. And joining me is a face you may or may not be familiar with, but this is sitting in for G and Transformer. This is my main man, Q, from the Opinion Stated podcast. Q, what's good, brother?
What's good, bro? Man, I appreciate you for having me on. Excited.
Of course. That's good. It's good stuff, man. So yeah, man, we got Q here, and he's gonna help us put a pin in the NBA All-Star Weekend. So looking forward to hearing his thoughts on that. But before we get started, y'all know what time it is. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. All right. Let's get right to it. We don't have any quick hits tonight because, again, this episode is specifically to discuss the NBA All-Star Weekend. So, Q, let me ask you this, man. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with All-Star Saturday night? Do you want to start with last night and move backwards? How you want to do this?
Man, let's go. Let's take it in order. Let's do it in order. Respectfully.
No doubt.
Before we start disrespecting the NBA, you know what I
mean? Listen, let me make it clear. My intent is not to disrespect the NBA, but if there's some critique that needs to be made, best believe we will make it.
yeah, straight up.
Yes. All right, well, let's start. Let's start with All-Star Saturday night, which is, kind of over the years, it's been one of the fun things that we look forward to about NBA All-Star Weekend. And obviously that's the skills challenge, that's the 3-point shootout, that's the dunk contest. And we have some thoughts and commentary on all three of those. So let's go ahead and start. We discussed some of this on the Sunday morning episode yesterday, but we'll recap some of it. So let's start with the skills challenge. And first, Q, even before we get to that part of it, if you recollect, LeBron and Bronny were kind of requested by the league to participate in the skills challenge, which I thought, and I'm not a Bron fan, I'm not a Bronny fan. However, I did think that would be really, really cool for the league, for the fans, and that would be an opportunity to, boost the lagging viewership that we have seen recently from All-Star Weekend and all of that, right? But LeBron and Bronny, I want to assume it was LeBron's choice not to do the event. Now, knowing now that he's got some nagging injuries, I'm not sure if that was part of it. My personal thought, and then I'll let you go, I'm going to be honest here, my personal thought on it was, just like the dunk contest, he didn't want to be in a situation where he's under the lights all by himself. He doesn't have a teammate to pass to. He doesn't have anyone to blame if it doesn't go right. And so he didn't have the lower intestinal fortitude to get out there and do it in front of all those people with everybody watching and no possible scapegoat. What are your thoughts on that, man?
All right, Bruce. So look, so while I can appreciate your kindness and I can appreciate you exercising a bit of restraint, you know what I mean, from going in on LeBron. Bro, yes. Let me say, I kind of want to paint a picture here, right? So to kind of correct something that you said, given his injury issues now, you know what I mean? Yes. Maybe that was the reason. No, bro. This was about a month and a half ago. Nah, bro. A month and a half ago, him and Bronny declined. That was back at the beginning of December or mid-December when they said, nah, we don't want to be a part of it. So I wanted to state that first. Because
I was really trying to give him the benefit of the doubt on this, believe it or not. But go ahead.
Nah, bro. We don't have to, So I know that people love to take your head off about being a LeBron hater. You always got something negative to say about LeBron. Stop doing shows about LeBron. You must really love LeBron because you keep. But bro, LeBron is
Have
a
you
little
been tapping my phone, bro?
bro. He the little gift that keeps on giving, bro. I tap into the show.
Thank you.
I'm a fan of the Format Podcast.
I
You know what I
appreciate that,
mean?
brother.
Fat with a P. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? But look, bro.
Uh,
So from the beginning of this season,
mhm. Yes.
all this Bronny James,
Mhm.
father son take the court.
Right.
It's special.
Yeah.
LeBron deserves this. Give
Mhm.
him the moment. What
Mhm.
more genuine, authentic moment could it have been for he and Bronny to be in a skills challenge, having fun? Ain't even really
Thank
about the
you.
win, bro.
Yeah,
Just having fun.
exactly.
See, when you fabricate realness, you can't recognize opportunities to be real because
Mm.
he's so used to just trying to spin all of these weird
Yeah. Yeah.
situations in the real, bro, that he
Mhm.
fails to realize actual genuine situations where he could appear to be real. That was a missed
Great
opportunity,
point.
bro. That was a missed
Agreed. Agreed.
opportunity, bro.
So let me
Missed
tell you what.
opportunity.
I don't know if you heard on one of the other episodes, Transformers' idea, and this actually was a really good idea, was to have the sons of all the NBA veterans of the past that are playing now have maybe 4 or 5 of them and their dads. So even if you don't want to
That would be
do
dope.
right, so
Yeah,
you do it that way, right? So it's like
that would be
kind of a
dope.
little more even playing field. So you have the fathers and then the sons who are currently playing, and that would have been cool. And LeBron is old enough that he could have gotten into that, and that would have been a real cool idea, I think. But yeah, at the end of the day, much like the dunk contest, it is my opinion, and I could be wrong. LeBron just doesn't want to be out there under the lights all by himself with nobody to blame if it doesn't go right. Despite everything that he has done in his magnificent career so far, everything that he's done, I think he's still afraid of being exposed, and that's why he acts the way he acts. And man, it's bad. Like, you would think that by now he would be so much more confident than what he displays, but apparently not.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. You know what I mean? To be honest, man. So we're gonna start this episode off with me being, transparent as well, right?
Hmm.
As a
Hmm.
former athlete. So I remember, bro, in
Okay.
high school, I mean, this is at the height of my athleticism. I'm
Hmm.
6'6", bro. You know what I mean? God bless me to be
Right.
6'6" tall.
Okay.
High school, I was probably like 210, 215. I was real light.
Mm.
But I could fly, bro.
Okay.
And I remember our team played in this basketball tournament in Tennessee.
Okay.
And in this tournament we played against AI's team. I think I mentioned that to you before, right? So we got a chance to, like,
Yeah,
I
I
got a chance
remember.
to see this cat in high school.
Okay.
And I mean, up close and personal, right? But
Hmm.
in this tournament in Bristol, there was a dunk contest. I mean,
Okay.
I could fly. I'm LeBron James in warm-ups and in practice. No,
Right,
seriously,
right,
bro.
right.
I was doing the LeBron thing. I'm showing off.
Okay.
I'm bouncing the ball off my shoe, dunking it backward, all kinds of stuff.
Wow. Okay.
And in this game was, or the halftime festivities,
Hmm.
as it stood, were going to be broadcast on ESPN2. Now, I
Hmm.
might have done the dunk contest, bro. I may have done it. I think as I searched back in my memory banks, I
Uh-huh.
think there was an inkling in me somewhere that was just like, oh, bro, they doing a dunk contest at halftime. You're going to take this drink. But then when somebody said, oh, it's going to be broadcast on ESPN2, I shrank. I was like, oh, nah.
Wow. Okay.
Nah. I'm not gonna embarrass myself on national TV if this doesn't work right, bro. If this doesn't go like I'm
Mm,
thinking. So
mm,
in that moment, I bowed out. I was like, nah, I'm good. And
mm.
I remember, Bruce, as I'm thinking about this, I remember how disappointed my teammates were and how
Right,
disappointed my
right.
coaches were, bro, because they would watch me
Mhm.
show off all the time. They're like, bro, just the same stuff you be doing, bro. Like, bro, and I was like, nah, I'm good,
Yeah,
nah.
yeah, yeah.
And so I agree with you in that regard, man. That's, to
Mhm,
me, why LeBron James shied away from it for so long.
mhm.
And now it's too late. You know what I mean? Like,
It is, it is.
I mean, we saw the dude rock the cradle, reverse the joint a couple years ago and got an ab strain. It's like
Mhm.
your little body ain't the same as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
that time has passed, man.
That's crazy too, because man, my thing was always, and in all seriousness, people keep making the excuse, and they say, well, LeBron is a power dunker. He's not a creative dunker. I'm like, so? He's got all these fans who would make excuses for him anyway. Just get out there and dunk, man.
Right.
Sean Kemp wasn't a creative dunker. He was a power dunker. He got in the dunk contest, right?
Yep.
Dwight Howard wasn't a creative dunker. He was a power dunker. He got in the dunk contest. Like, why do we make excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse for this guy? Like, just get out there and entertain your fans. Just do it.
And, I think. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
No, I was gonna say I agree with you 100%, right? And I think the reason that most people wanted to see LeBron in the dunk contest so much is one, because of his name, but two, because he actually said he was gonna do it. And so we wouldn't be on his back so much if he didn't keep coming forward saying, I'll do it next year. I'm gonna preliminarily put my name in the. And so we began to expect that he would do it. The expectation also being set, perhaps unrealistically, by a Jordan, a Dominique, a Kobe, you know what I mean? And these guys who were faces, superstardom to boot, who actually did enter the competition. So, the names carry weight. That superstardom participating carries weight. So for LeBron to not participate, it's just kind of like we want to put you on the level of these other greats. And as many watching the video might be thinking, well, he is the absolute greatest. And it's like, well, why wouldn't he do the things that the other greats before him did? Well, he don't got to. And it's like,
right.
Realistically, it's been to the detriment of the actual procession, the whole production that has been All-Star Weekend over the years.
Look, it's ridiculous, man, because look, Clyde Drexler, he got in it. He didn't win. To Woodage 84's point, what up, Woodage? Jordan lost his first dunk contest. A lot of people don't even know Michael Jordan competed in the three-point shootout. He's not a three-point sniper, but guess what? He wanted to get out there and compete. He knew he had fans, so he was trying to get in everything and give the fans a show. And he's wired differently. We know what a psycho competitor he was, and he was like, he got in just because he wanted everybody to know that he could beat everybody in everything. Now, did he win? No, but he wanted to go out there and try to. He gave it his all to try. So I'm like, I don't understand this. I don't know. Well, in fairness to LeBron, part of it is the modern world that we live in terms of branding, and everything is about branding and not messing up your brand. But guess what? You're a professional athlete, and being an elite competitor, in my estimation, can only help your brand. But that's me.
But watch this extra layer to the Jordan point that you just made, Bruce.
Okay.
What if he didn't actually even want to win? Because I said in another episode that I don't even think it would the winning for Jordan was about actually winning. I think it wasn't about beating his opponent, rather. I think that he wanted to conquer the moments, right? So he just rose to the occasion to conquer big moments. And so not even to say that he entered the 3-point contest to win the contest. What if he just wanted to get the best out of the other people competing? So he was just like, I know if I enter, man, they're gonna bring their A game. So let's make sure that they at least put on a show for the fans. I think that's the missing element of the actual All-Star game. Because when Kobe got out there and was, like you said, I can't remember who it is, but they were like, oh, Steph, I think it was. He's like, yo, Kobe picked him up 94 feet. And he's like, bro, I'm falling and stuff. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like, bro, what are we doing out here? And he's like, yeah, and that's in a preseason game. That's
we
the kind of
supposed to show who's the best of the best out here.
That's the kind of intensity that the players, the superstars, haven't brought in terms of that element, bro. So unfortunately, it's been to the detriment of the league. But I just wanted to offer that as a piece to the Jordan thing. Like, yeah, he jumped in a 3-point contest. Maybe he wasn't really thinking to win it. He just wanted to see the best out of everybody else, because he was going to bring his best. He was trying to win. You know what I mean? But everybody else was definitely going to compete because he was in it. It's like, oh, Jordan's in too, or I'm going to beat him at something. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
So they're bringing their A game.
No doubt. And thank you, real quick segue. Thank you for bringing up Michael Jordan, Q. Today is February 17th, and on February 17th, 1963, Michael Jordan was born in Brooklyn, New York, right? So we got to give a shout out to the GOAT. Happy birthday to Michael Jordan. And like most of us, I grew up wanting to be like Mike, right? That's arguably the most iconic ad campaign of all time. That Gatorade Be Like Mike. I'm sitting here talking about it, and I'm trying not to burst out in song because it's playing in my head while we're talking about it. And it was just it was special, man. And like a lot of these independent channels say when they talk about Michael Jordan, you had to be there during that time to truly feel it and understand what he was on and off the court, what he meant to us culturally, what he meant to us as a basketball player. Like there's no explanation for it. You just had to be there. But it was special. But anyway, just wanted to give Michael Jordan that birthday shout out. So
happy birthday, MJ. Aquarius
yes.
kinfolk. You know what I mean?
There you go. There you go. My mom's birthday's tomorrow. My uncle's birthday's today. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You got a lot of good people in the family, bro. Close.
Yeah, man. We try.
They're nothing like us.
Yes, indeed. But let's go ahead and let's get back to All-Star Weekend. So we have the skills competition, which so we know LeBron and Bronny didn't compete, but we still had some it was interesting, right? And it started off the most interesting way I could have expected. So we saw the Spurs contingent of Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama, who well, they thought they were going to be slick and slick their way through it. Now, here's my question. When it comes to Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama, I wonder whose idea this was. So what they did, they went through, they made their passes, they made their dribbles, but to have the best time possible, they apparently didn't actually take legitimate attempts at shooting the basketball. They just kind of flicked it up 3 times and then moved on to the next station, which would have constituted 3 misses and then moving on to the next station. But then you would have they would have had finished the course with the highest time, thus winning the event, right? So they try to be slick and kind of circumvent the rules. And they ended up getting disqualified for not making a good faith attempt to shoot the basketball. So one, what were your thoughts on this? I'll call it a scheme, Q, to try and win. And 2, who do you think was responsible for it? You think that was Chris Paul, or you think it was Victor Wembanyama?
Yeah. So I'm gonna answer, in reverse. All right. Sure. So I did an episode on, kind of the All-Star, etc. Wee hours of the morning this morning, posted it, went to bed, right? So it's posted on the channel now. But according to a Yahoo Sports article, Kevin Harlan during the broadcast actually blamed Chris Paul. He's like, "Oh, this has the smell of Chris Paul all over it," or something like that, right?
Right.
And because after all, he's a 20-year veteran, savvy, etc., etc. According to Draymond Green yesterday, though, he talked to Wemby, and it was Wemby's idea not to shoot the shots. And apparently they ran it by a couple executives. Wemby did, like, "Yo, you know what I mean? Think this will be cool?" And they say, "Yeah, bro, that'll work. Do it." You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if these executives knew the rules and they were just like, "Yeah, go do that," or you know what I mean? Like, my biggest question would be, what constitutes a shot, though? Because sure, you see him, you know what I mean, like just flinging the ball to the rim, but we see dudes doing that all the time. A fall. What constitutes a field goal attempt if the ball is not going toward the basket? Does it have to be actual arc follow through? Do I have to jump? Like, what does that really look like? So
that's a great
you
question.
could say, "Come on, Q, they didn't really shoot the ball." It's like, well, they threw it toward the basket. That technically could be considered a shot. So I didn't like. Obviously, the competition started off that way, bro. I was like, I was watching the game, sitting here, man, on my laptop, and I almost slammed my laptop shut. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's how we're gonna kick off this competition. That's what we're doing right here, bro.
Yeah.
And so it was incredibly weird to watch. I won't even say, like, it was disrespectful of the competition, of course. And it made me harken back to the question, like, why would you get into a competition to circumvent the rules? If you don't want to compete, don't sign up.
Just don't.
Or just don't show up. You know what I mean? Just say, "Nah, bro, we good." You know what I mean? Like, we've decided that I would have much preferred the bow out than, you know what I mean, the hack attempt. You know what I mean? So it was weird.
Yeah. So I guess how I looked at it was, I did hear also that Victor Wembanyama was going around asking, like, would this be okay? Kind of like, almost like, let's see, what was it? When in the Sugar Bowl, Notre Dame versus Georgia this year, when Notre Dame ran off all their guys on the fake punt attempt, Georgia ran off all their guys and then ran it back on, and it completely discombobulated them. So apparently Marcus Freeman went to the officials prior to that. Hey, not at that moment, but prior to the game, hey, this is something we might be thinking about doing. Is it all good? So maybe something like that.
Right.
But what in this case, what it appears to me, this is almost like beyond gamesmanship. This is, if indeed it was Wembanyama's idea, it seems like just another indication of the modern mindset lacking competitive fervor. Like that, to me, is the first thing I thought about. I said, damn. And I like Wembanyama, but I'm like, look at these young cats again, man. Like, why does nobody want to compete? Like, always looking for some way to shortcut competition. I don't understand this. Like, you're professional athletes. The very basis, the foundation of sports is competition against your opposition. Why are you always, not you, but why are all these cats today seemingly always looking for a way around that? Like, wouldn't you take much more joy in winning if you beat these guys?
No, you would.
I would.
You would. I would. But we were raised different. I got the answer for you, Bruce. I have the answer, bro. This is the golden nugget. And hopefully people don't log out after this. This is the golden nugget. No, seriously, this is the golden nugget, bro.
Okay.
The answer to your question is we are literally witnessing first and second generation participation trophy kids. These kids are from the participation trophy era where all you had to do was show up and you get a trophy at least for coming in second place, third place. You just participated. It was all good. And so they never really understood the drive to win. Yeah, winning would be cool, but we still get a trophy either way. It's all good. It's not that big of a deal. So these kids don't have that zest and that zeal to really get out there and pummel them up. They don't want to just beat a person's head in. Hold them down, suffocate them, smother them, keep them from winning, still call you friend off the court. That was Jordan in that era. That was us as we came up, being competitors, bro. They don't understand that. Well, I could whoop you, I could beat you, you know what I mean? And still be cool with you afterwards. Like, yo, bro, what's good? You know? They're just hugging and then going out like, oh, you score now, I score now, you score now, I score. And it's like, oh, well, we didn't win it this year, but maybe we'll win it some other time. And it's like, no, bro.
Generation, man.
Where's the competitive edge? Where's that balance?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't exist because these participation trophy kids, man, this is what they do. This is what they do. This is how they were raised, bro. It's how they were raised. It's how they were raised.
Crazy.
They're making too much money right now.
I don't ever want it to be that I'm trying to get in guys' pockets to say they're making too much money. I'll say, instead of saying they're making too much money, I'll say it's hard to keep that drive and that desire when everything is coming so easily because you're getting that much bread. I'm not going to say they're making too much money because if the money's out there, like, they deserve their cut of it. I'm just saying when you're making that much, it's hard to stay driven. So I'll say it that way.
Same thing. It's the same thing. You're saying the same thing. You're saying
it's not the same thing.
I'm playing Transformer today, bro. I'm sitting in the Transformer role today. Bro, we're saying the same thing, bro.
I don't know if we're saying the same
Just
thing.
using different words. No, but realistically, it is. It's a very fine line to walk. You know what I mean with the statement, and so it's a very controversial statement to make. And I don't say it to pocket watch, but I say it because, even when you listen to the reporters report, analysts, etc., on ESPN, FS1, etc., mainstream or in the independent media space, who come to the defense of these players, most will say, yeah, well, they'll play a lot harder if you incentivize them, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, yeah, bro, listen, you're already making so much money that if I have to incentivize you with more money, it doesn't make sense. Jason Tatum has just signed a $360 million contract, bro. How much more money do I need to give to him to make him want to play harder? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it, bro. So that's why I say they're just making, ain't nothing you could do. Sure. 11 years, $76 billion contract was just signed by the NBA and their partners in media. And so the players get a kickback from some of that money too. So they're going to make more money than they're already making presently, bro. But they still ain't going to play no harder.
The contracts is coming from the TV deals. That's how they're able to do it.
And they're not going to play any harder.
Yeah, I don't.
They're not going to play any harder, bro.
Yeah, it's hard. So let me respond to Edward here. He says if y'all mention this, if you're really not going to compete, just don't do it. But it's a problem with LeBron not doing the skill competition and dunk contest. Edward, you make a lot of false equivalencies when it comes to LeBron. I know you have to defend him. I know you do. I know you're waiting on your clutch check every week. I know you are, and you got to defend him, but that's okay. Let me try to explain this to you. First of all, if you're LeBron, you're telling us you're the GOAT. Rich Paul and Clutch, every time they have an interview, they're telling us how great you are and how you're the GOAT, right? Why would it even be an issue of you doing it but not competing? The whole point is, if you're as great as you say you are, get out there and compete. Being what you are and how much you have some psychotic fans who love you to the ends of this earth, let's be real, right? You have all of that. Why would you not be willing to get out there and entertain them? Like, seriously, it's not a function of if you're really not going to compete, just don't do it. So it's an issue if LeBron doesn't do it. That doesn't even make any sense. I don't even understand what's your argument there. The fact is he should have done it, right? But we know why he doesn't do it. Go ahead, Q.
Right. I'll say the equivalent to Ed's point, and I'll give him some kind of a comparison, right? So sure, if you're not going to compete, then don't get involved. I would not want to see LeBron James get in the dunk contest if he wasn't going to take it serious. So yeah, bro, but two things can be right. Two things can be right simultaneously, right? The equivalent would be a Vince Carter being an incredible in-game dunker. We watched this dude literally hurdle a 7-footer in the Olympics. We watched him put on the most spectacular, dazzling dunk display of any person, almost any player to ever play in the NBA.
Yeah.
And so imagine with him being as spectacular as he presented himself to be as a dunker, if Vince had never, ever once competed in a dunk contest. We'd be dragging this dude like, bro, what's wrong with you? Why would you not compete? You know what I mean? Nah, I'm good. Nah, I might do it next year. Then constantly not doing it. We'd be dragging Vince right now. We will be dragging this dude, bro. We'd be dragging him. And so that's why LeBron gets dragged. It's not just because he doesn't want to do it. It's because he's a superstar who said he was going to do it, who's always showing off. Watch this, Edward.
There we go. Give it to him.
Your man jumped in the layup line during one of Bronny's high school games to dunk with the kids, bro. To dunk with them in the warm, and he won't get it. He puts on a show and layup line in the NBA, but he won't enter the contest. It's like a contradiction of position. You know what I mean? Like of his position as a person and as a player, and his status as a star. He's almost obligated and responsible to help, elevate the league to a certain level, bro. That's just what it is, bro.
Yeah, well, it's easy for LeBron to do those in Bronny's layup line in high school where there might be 1,000, maybe 2,000 people there, not 20,000, and not, millions across the world watching, right? That's really all it comes down to, man. He doesn't want to get under those lights by himself. Because if you watch the dunk contest this year, you heard Vince when they were asking him kind of what's the difference, and he's like, when you're out there all by yourself to put on a show for these people. And I'm not going to say that he was taking a shot directly at anybody, but he did say that. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
I can relate. I said no.
Right.
I said no, bro. I'm not going to embarrass myself on national TV. I'm not doing that.
Right.
Yeah, I can make them in practice. I've made them in practice, but bro, what if I don't make them today? Like, oh no.
Right. But see, here the difference is, Q. You are not a global superstar, global athletic icon who is constantly telling us that you're the greatest player of all time, and your representatives and your agency is not constantly pushing that narrative that you're the greatest of all time, and the sports media is not pushing that narrative, and you don't have an agency that's going out and attacking people who criticize you on national TV, right? So all these things put LeBron in a totally different place than everybody else that, people like Edward want to compare him to. Well, what about when somebody else don't do something? Or well, what about when somebody else does that? No, it's not the same. It's never going to be the same because of what he tells us he is. But anyway, we keep getting back to that. But let's see how
bless
this guy's
LeBron
fingerprints
James.
are all right. His fingerprints are all over the league, man. But anyway, so yeah, the skills contest was good, and so let's move on to the
So before you
3-point
move
shootout.
on, shout out to Team Cleveland who competed and who actually took the title.
That's right. That's right. And while we're here, Alexander X, what up? Good to see you. Kareem Duncombe, what up? Brooklyn, stand up. I see you. Good to see y'all fellas in here, man. Appreciate y'all. Shame on you. But anyway, but yeah, so let's go on to the 3-point shootout, which I heard some today. I hadn't even considered it when I was watching it the other night. And for me, because of how much the NBA has changed now, the 3-point shootout is actually the glamour event of All-Star Saturday night because, you know, the dunk contest is what it is now. Even though Matt McClung is doing a great job, and we'll get to him shortly, it's no longer the glamour event because, you know, the 3-point shot is the most dangerous weapon and the most well-used weapon in the modern NBA. So that's kind of what I am always excited to see is the 3-point shootout. And I'll say this, being that the game was in San Francisco in the Chase Center, I think Steph should have competed. I mean, Buddy Hield competed, and he's a warrior, so that's cool. But Steph is arguably the greatest warrior of all time. Maybe some people say, what's my man, Rick Barry. Some people may say Will Chamberlain, but Steph, most people will say, is the greatest warrior of all time. And he should have competed in this thing, even if he didn't win. No one cares. You're in your home stadium, and you're arguably the greatest shooter of all time. You should have been in this thing. What are your thoughts on that before we kind of get to who won?
Inarguably the greatest shooter that I have ever saw shoot the basketball, bro. You know,
I got to push
think
back
Steph,
on that. Go ahead. I got
inarguably, like I said, the best that I've ever saw. I'll take the pushback, and you might be able to persuade me to change my position, based on what you say. But we'll wait for it. However, Steph Curry is one of the few shooters that I've ever saw shoot the basketball. In all honesty, Bruce, who I expected to go in every single time it leaves his hands. Every single time, bro. I'm shocked when it doesn't go in. Honestly, I'm like, oh, he missed it. Oh, I expect it to fall every single time, bro. And I know that it's not going to fall every time, but it's just I just know that it has that potential to fall with him at any moment because he's such a pure shooter. So I think that it was a bit of a travesty for us not to see Steph in that competition. I swore he was going to be in it. It was really weird to me that he wasn't. You know, and I have no idea why. It's not like he was hurt. It's not like he was like, I'm like, why wouldn't he compete? He literally gave us, was that last season? The Sabrina versus Steph?
Yeah.
Why would he not be in the competition this year in San Francisco, bro? It just didn't make any sense to me at all.
So I think what they wanted to do was, I think they wanted to do like Steph and Clay versus Sabrina Ionescu and what's her name? Caitlin Clark. But Caitlin Clark said no. Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to set up, but Caitlin Clark said no. And if you ask me, I think she missed a golden opportunity to bring even more eyes to the WNBA because, you know, obviously she's one of the biggest draws in that league, and they are really, you know, they're fighting hard to, you know, get to a place where they can actually turn a profit and so on and so forth. I think that would have been huge because that event last year, that shootout with Sabrina Ionescu was crazy. I watched it. I enjoyed it. She could shoot that rock, boy. But yeah, I thought it was very good. So let me argue and push back real quick on the Steph is the greatest shooter you've ever seen. I love shooters. I think Steph is phenomenal. I think his ability, he may be the most complete shooter you've ever seen. He can score at the rim, although they're not rim protectors like when we were coming up, but he can score at the rim. He can shoot in the mid-range at a high level. He can shoot from three at a high level. He can shoot deep from three at a high level. He can shoot off the dribble extremely well. He can shoot off the curl extremely well. He can catch and shoot extremely well. There's no real weakness to his shooting game. Cool. Now, where I will push back and say he may not be the greatest shooter of all time, the conditions really help him to do this, right? And Edward is going to be upset. We talk about this stuff all the time. But let's look at it. When you and me were coming up and when you were playing ball, right? We know that a lot of times guys were pressing 94 feet, right? There was a lot of defense being played on guys. They had to hand check you. It wasn't just a free reign coming up the floor. Even if you didn't have the ball, even when you were running the baseline, you were running off screens and whatnot, guess what? The defender who was getting screened off, what would he do? Get a knee out, get a shoulder into you, get an elbow into you, right? all those little nicks, all those little bumps, they start to wear on you as the game goes by, right? So one, you have the effort that it's taking just to bring the ball up the floor when you're getting hounded defensively, right? Also, they're going to be doing everything they can to trap you and get the ball out of your hands, which is weird. I don't know why they don't trap Steph more, but whatever. But anyway, because Clay's gone now, so I would really be trapping heavy now because you're missing one less shooter, right? So anyway, you have the effort it takes to get the ball up the floor. You have the physical toll it takes on your body moving without the ball. But guess what? Back in like 04, and you can look this up. I keep talking about it. I keep referencing it. Was it Stu used to coach the Knicks? But the former vice president of operations for the NBA, he has statements to the effects of basically, allowing for more freedom of motion away from the basketball is allowing perimeter players to do more things. They don't want guys to be grabbed. They don't want guys to get chipped. They don't want guys to, catch a little elbows, shoulders, knees while they're moving without the ball. All that stuff is fouls away from the ball, right? So you can't do that anymore. So all these offensive players without the ball are getting free release. All that helps you to conserve energy and makes it easier. So when you catch the ball, especially late in games, you can make these shots, right? So you look at it and you look at a Mark Price, you look at a Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, you look at a Steve Smith, a Reggie Miller, all these guys, they all had to deal with those things, right? And so imagine if Steph had to deal with all that. I'm not saying he wouldn't still be able to shoot the ball extremely well, but imagine if he had to deal with all of that. Are his legs still there the same way come fourth quarter to be making these crazy deep shots? Probably not, right? It takes more. So what I'm saying is we can't definitively say that he's the greatest shooter of all time because the conditions allow for him to do a lot more with a lot less obstacles in his way, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. What are your thoughts on that?
Ha ha. Coming to America. Barbershop singing, ha ha. I didn't say greatest of all time. I said that I've never seen Shoot the Rock. So yeah, so I think that I agree with the points made and the case is laid out. Obviously, you know what I mean? Like if he played in previous eras where the conditions were different, where the game was being played a little bit different, he would have had to physically train a little bit different. Bulk up a little, get those legs a little stronger, you know what I mean?
Right.
Put on a bit more muscle. Not saying that he couldn't do any of those things, but I don't think that would change his touch. It's his touch that I'm speaking of and his skill set. So
Right.
I'm not sure what his stamina would be late in game situations,
Right.
etc. You know what I mean? But I just know that what I see him do from a skill set perspective is incredible. You know what I mean? So I'm speaking mostly from that. But I agree. I can agree that playing in my neighborhood would have been a whole lot different for LeBron than playing in Cleveland where he was playing. You know what I mean? Like playing in your neighborhood, playing it. I know for certain when we would drive up to New York, I had family in Brooklyn as well, and we would drive up to New York from DC in the summers, and every block as we drive through is some basketball court with a whole bunch of motherfuckers out there hooping. You know what I mean? And so the game was being played different in New York on the streets of New York than it was in DC. You know what I mean? Like it's just depending on where you're playing, man. You know what I mean? Like the conditions or the environment can dictate how you need to play. You know what I mean? What kind of historically look at the build of point guards that come out of New York, just as we're talking about it. Your Marburys, you know what I mean? Like short, stout, just big legs, you know what I mean? Like strong guys, because they had to be to get to the basket the way that they were going to get through traffic amongst all those trees and all those, stout rim protectors and folks who are protecting the lane. So, yeah, it stands to reason that, what you're saying is plausible. I get it. But man, Steph shoot that rock, bro. Steph shoot that rock.
He does. Yes, he does. And I'm not trying to say that he is not an incredible all-time great shooter. I don't want it to just appear disrespectful. I'm just saying, like, when you have conditions that help you along, we have to take that into account. That's all I'm saying. But yeah. So anyway, we get into the three-point shootout. Buddy Hield had an incredible first round. He hits 31, a score of 31, which I believe ties Steph for highest ever in the NBA three-point shootout on All-Star Weekend. So just an incredible shooting display. And when I saw that, I was like, yo, he's going to win this thing. I said, okay. And then, here's Tyler Hero. he started making his shots, and he ends up being the the fifth all-time Miami Heat player to win the 3-point shootout. And you know what's interesting? I guess it just goes to show that they teach you when you're learning how to shoot to try and shoot with a specific form. But look how weird his form is. Like I've never seen anybody shoot the way he shoots. His form is strange. But you know, KD don't have the prettiest form either, but he knocks shots down though. You know, so I guess if you shoot enough.
Yeah, it's repetition. It's repetition and muscle memory. I think that the players who come into the NBA and struggle the most are those who have these shooting coaches, et cetera, change their form, man, because these kids have been shooting like this for years, and it's hard to just change. Like Mikal Bridges, for instance, this season changed his shooting form to shoot more at the top of his jump, or at the top, have his release be at the top, at the height of his trajectory off the ground. And it's a really weird looking shot, but it's a much more efficient shot because it's a faster release. And so for him to not be the quickest guy in the world, to be able to get it off really quick, Sean Marion quick. Remember, Sean Marion just shoot from his waist almost. You know what I mean? So people have these really weird releases and really weird release points. You know, whereas even if you watch like what Tyler was doing just now, looked like almost his body was kind of curling, you know what I mean, as he release. It's a really weird thing that's happening with his body. But you'll see players, they'll pull in their shoulders some, you know what I mean, and release. Or as they release the ball, it's all kinds of weird things that happen, little hitches in most of these. Look at Melo's and Lonzo's shot. You know what I mean? Like these guys shoot the ball. What is this form? And so
Lonzo did a lot of work on his shot, though. His form was horrendous.
Yeah,
he did a lot of work on that thing.
And again, it's repetition, man. So once you start doing it a certain way, and if you're doing it wrong and nobody's ever told you any different, even though it's going in, like it is what it is. But I was very impressed with Tyler Hero. Let me go back to Buddy Hill really quick. First of all,
yeah, absolutely.
But Buddy Hill, this is another one of those. Steph Curry's the greatest shooter I've ever seen shoot. Right, Buddy Hill might be the most streaky, shooter. I mean, he's a pure jump shooter sometimes, bro, but he's so freaking streaky. And so when I saw that first round performance, I was like, "Oh, Buddy on it today." Nah, Buddy shot his load in that first round, bro. He shot his load, bro, the full load, bro. I was like, damn, he ain't got nothing left. Streaky as hell, man. And so, but it was really good to see him compete. I love it to see when Buddy gets on a roll. Even in games, you seem to see Buddy. Well, he'll miss like 4 in a row, 5 in a row, and then all of a sudden he knocks down 3. Like, oh, bro, Buddy, he gets going, bro. So, but Tyler Hero, Tyler Hero is quietly having the greatest season of, like a dream NBA season for a cat's age, to be handed the keys to the Miami Heat. Yeah, to be handed the keys to that franchise. They clearly made a decision, drew a line in the sand with Jimmy to say, bro, you can go. Tyler can carry us. We're not a superstar driven team, but he can be our number one and function inside the system, and we'll still be okay. To then win to be selected as an all-star for the first time, and then to win that 3-point contest. He's having a great season, bro. I mean, this dude's having a great year.
Yeah.
And this is like his coming out party, man. I'm so happy for the kid. It's really good to see him after so many years of his upside being evident and being present, and you just kind of seeing his trajectory, man, and kind of watching him grow. It's I was really excited. I was most excited, I think, this weekend for Tyler among the folks who won anything.
Yeah. And just, going back and seeing, okay, he's the 5th member of the Miami Heat to win the NBA 3-point shootout. The one that stands out to me is Glenn Rice. I think people truly forget how sick Glenn Rice was at his peak. And he was nice in Miami. I think he scored 56 one game in Miami, and that's his career high, if I'm not mistaken. But his real peak when he was in Charlotte, I want to say that was around like 95, 96. Man, I think he was first team All NBA. Glenn Rice went crazy. I think he averaged like 26 or 27 that year. He was going bonkers, and I think he shot like 48% from 3 that season. Glenn Rice was an absolute problem. And a lot of people,
I was going to say, can you imagine Glenn Rice in a heavy 3-point volume shooting era like this one, bro?
So I always think about that, Q, when it comes to it. And that's the thing. A lot of the younger fans don't understand because they think that, to quote Anthony Edwards, nobody back then had any skill besides Michael Jordan, and they didn't see it. So they have no idea. Like, imagine, to your point, Glenn Rice, Steve Smith, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who was Steph before Steph, Reggie Miller, Mark Price. Transport those guys to now and let them take 10 to 15 threes per game. Do you know what they are doing in today's league with minimum defense like this? They are destructive. They would be Dale Ellis. I mean, Ricky
Dale
Pierce.
Ellis.
Yeah. A lot of elite. Chris Mullin was averaging 25 a game for 5 straight years with Run TMC back then. So imagine those guys. Peja Stojakovic, good one. Thank you, Woody. Right,
man.
Run TMC.
Peja
let that thing go. Yeah. No, see, Edward, I understand what you're saying. That's what YouTube is for. I get it. But what we're trying to say is you guys act like all these guys were bums as compared to the players now, and that's not the case. What we're saying is, imagine you put those guys now, those guys who were shooters back then, let them be shooters now with the green light to shoot 10, 15 threes a game, plus the freedom of not being shackled by heavy, hardcore defense. All them dudes would average 25, 30, like easily. They would be crazy. And this is like what I talk about when I talk about the disrespect that the players of the past get. But this show is not about that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Q.
Yeah, now I'm saying they were already doing it. Like Stojakovic was averaging like 25, 26 points a game at his height. And this wasn't a jack up 8 threes, 8, 9, 10 threes a quarter era, bro. So imagine if and his jump shot was fucking man, so pure, bro. Even just come on, bro. Let's move on because we're gonna go down memory lane and these kids are gonna hate us. Get off my lawn, you sorry basketball players.
Real quick, Stojakovic's son and Marbury's son are together at Cal. They're playing together.
Oh wow,
at Cal.
Wow, didn't know that.
But yeah, so anyway, Tyler Hero wins the 3-point shootout, and that takes us on to the slam dunk contest. All right, what are your thoughts on the slam dunk contest in its current state? I'm not going to go into that. I think everybody who watches this show knows my thoughts, why it is where it is. But what are your thoughts, Q?
So. Yeah. So the dunk contest either needs to be utterly and completely eliminated, or they need to start outsourcing the talent. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I said this during you all Sunday show in the chat. To Transformer, like professional basketball player doesn't necessarily equal phenomenal dunker. You know what I mean? Those two things are not synonymous, and so. Just because you made it to the pros doesn't mean like we should just choose from the crop of folks who made it pro. I watch YouTube, I watch Instagram, I'm looking at videos on X. Man, some crazy, incredibly creative dunkers out here that can put on a show for the fans if you just want us to see some amazing, display of dunking ability. It just might not have a place in NBA All-Star Weekend anymore. You know what I mean? Unless you want to outsource some of that talent and bring them in. So I don't know what else you could really do.
Maybe you do that to effectively shame some of the elite high flyers in the NBA into performing, right? Because you saw after it was over, I doubt it'll happen. I hope it'll happen, but I doubt it. You saw, what was it, John Morant tweet, maybe I need to get in this next year. And Giannis tweeting, if you do it, I'll do it, which was cool. Edward, I don't believe either one of them either. I don't, but I can only hope that at some point somebody cares enough to say, look, let's go do this thing, man, because it is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Now, with that said, all that is true, but Mac McClung is doing his damnedest to try to bring this thing back. And we can see here, remember, Blake Griffin was the first guy we saw jump over the car, but he jumped over the hood. He didn't jump over the high part. Now, and watch, we'll see on the replay from the other side, Mac McClung, he did this off 2 feet. That's the crazy part.
Right. That's serious bounce.
A lot of people don't realize that. The only other guy that I can think of, I'm sure there are others, but the guy that I think of that was an elite 2-foot jumper was Dominique Wilkins.
With Dominique,
Most of
yeah,
these other guys all jump off 1 foot.
yeah, it's more. You get more power off two. Off two. I was
Mm-hmm.
much more comfortable jumping off two. One because of power, but secondarily because
Mm-hmm.
I was more secure because of my ankles. You know what I mean? Like, so it just
Mm-hmm.
made more sense to power off too. But I got
Right.
that from Dominique. You know what I mean? Like just
Okay.
watching Dominique
Okay.
do it, I was like, well, let me try it and kind of see. You know what I mean? And I liked it better. I was like, oh man, I feel like I get more power. You know what I mean? I get more height jumping off of two than one. So yeah, it was a different kind of a different kind of a mechanics thing. But yeah, this kid obviously has hops, man. His hops are crazy. He doesn't have a
Oh yeah,
lot of
he's a
length in his
beast.
body, so
No, he's only
it's the
6'2".
right. So it's the power off two legs for him that help
Mm-hmm.
him to get as high as he gets up, and
Right.
even the what is perceived to be hang time, you know what I mean, is
Mm-hmm.
incredibly impressive. Maybe that's more has
Mm-hmm.
more to do with his height than anything else. But the state of the to your state of the dunk contest question, I think I am ready. If they're not just going to do away with it entirely, then I'm ready to have my dunk contest back without all the props. I just want to see creative
Mm.
dunks. I don't want to see people jumping over school buses. You know what I mean? Like all that stuff is cool, but I can watch that on YouTube. I want to see
Yeah.
sheer talent and ability. Like I remember when J.R. Ryder brought out the East Bay Funk Dunk, and you know what I mean, like all of that stuff through the legs and stuff that we had never seen before. And I've watched again
Mm-hmm.
these dunkers, just around the world, man, in video do things without props. And I'm like, no way he did that. No way you know what I mean? Like, bro, did he really just? And I gotta go back and watch the video like 25 times to be like, bro, he really just threw the ball and flipped and
Right.
did. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's crazy. So I think that we can, if you're gonna have a dunk contest, I will want it to be a dunk contest without all the theatrics, all the circus. You know what I mean? Like kind of surrounding it, because I think that will be much more respectful of basketball skill set and prowess in general,
Mm-hmm.
and not like, oh, he only won because he jumped over he jumped over this guy's head and he dunked. He's like, well, this guy jumped over five kids in a row. It's just like, yeah, but
So I
all
hear what
right.
you're saying with that. And real quick, Alexander, I'm with Laker Nation on this. It didn't look to me like he was getting the boost off of them guys either. It looked like he
Nah,
was
he's not.
jumping over them and taking it out of their
He
hands. I didn't
cleared him.
see him push down or anything.
No, he
Um,
cleared him.
to, yeah, to your point, Q, I'll say this. I'm 6 feet tall, and I've never dunked, but it's weird. I could never dunk, but at my absolute best, I could take one step into it and grab the rim, like, and be able to like hang on it off one step. So that was take one step in and off 2 feet. I could do that, but I was never able to dunk. So
Right.
I'm very jealous of you for being able
Right.
to do all that stuff. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, man, uh, I hear what you're saying about no props. I think the problem is we've seen every other regular dunk with no props be done. Like I don't know what more you could come out with, without props that would be even remotely original or creative. And I think that's why they keep bringing out props, because you have to keep finding a way to make the crowd ooh and ah and make the judges ooh and ah to be able to give you these 50s, right? Which is what you're looking for. And so I give credit to the young fella, Mac McClung, man. He did an incredible job. And I loved what I saw. Edward, let me get back to you. All cap Bruce. And also this video might be the reason why these NBA players, the top guys, will not do it. He could have broke his ankle, but he didn't. And we've never seen anyone actually get hurt in a dunk contest. So we got to stop that. Stop caping up for these dudes' cowardice with these nonsense excuses, man. Real talk. What's all cap, Edward? I want to know, because we've never seen anyone get hurt in a dunk contest. So I think that's a terrible excuse. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm saying we've never seen it. So there's no empirical evidence to that effect. But I want to hear, what's the cap? Let me know. Brandon said, right. What else can you do? We've seen eyes covered. We've seen between the legs, etc. So guys are using props. And that's kind of, I'm with you on that, Brandon. I'm not sure what else there is to be done without props. And that's kind of why guys are using them.
Well, I'll say just because we haven't seen it doesn't mean that it can't be done. You know what I mean? So that will be the pushback that I give to you and Brandon. And again, this is why I watch dunkers on YouTube and on the internet, man, because I see them do things that I've never seen in the NBA, college dunk contest, like any dunk contest, any televised dunk contest. So there are people out here with the capability of doing it. Maybe, like I said, the NBA players simply lack the creativity to do some of these things that we've never seen before. And so, if we just continue to excuse it away, in my opinion, as being like, well, just let them use some props, bro, because we've seen everything. Like, what else can we see? Then it just opens the door for us it to just become
Right.
ridiculous with the
Right.
props.
Right.
You
That's
know what I
what you were
mean? Where
saying.
now
Like
it's like, I'm gonna
jump
jump
into
over
a
the
ring of
lunch
fire.
lady now. I'm gonna
Right.
jump
Right.
over the ushers. I'm just like, what are
Yeah.
we doing, bro?
That's what
Can
G
we
was
just
saying last night. Like, what are we gonna do? Jump through a ring of fire and over a pool of sharks? Like what's going on?
Exactly. Yeah, I was
Right,
crying when
right.
he said it, but it made sense. Like, bro, like I don't want to. I
Mm.
think that was Gino. Yeah, Gino was like, I don't want to see you jump through a ring of fire, bro. I was crying
Right.
because I was like, yo, G. I was like, yeah, bro, facts. I'm sick of it, bro. I don't want to see you jump through a fiery ring. You know what I
Right.
mean? And like, and then somebody extinguish you, and then at the same time you're dunking the basketball, and that's how you get a 50. It's like he ain't got no
Mm.
eyebrows now, but he got a 50. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing, bro? It's turning into
Right.
evil
Right.
Knievel instead of it just
No doubt.
being, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like a dunk contest, bro. So I guess that would be
Right.
my only pushback for you and Brandon with that. Like
Fair
the
enough.
absence of a thing doesn't mean that it can't be created.
Absolutely.
It just
Right.
means that it needs to be. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Brandon, I agree. The only thing I'll say here is maybe he has small hands, and that's why he has someone else hold the ball all the time. Real talk, like
You gonna put my
look,
man on baby hands?
remember when Phil Jackson was like, Kobe has smaller hands than Mike, and then all of a sudden you saw Kobe walking around with the hand squeezy thing. Everybody's like, what's he doing? And like he heard the comments. So now he's trying to make his hands strong. Kobe was a psycho, man. God bless the dead. He was a total psycho. But
That's
that's what
funny,
made him
bro.
great, man. He was
No, it's
willing to
true.
do anything to get
That's
better.
true.
Oh man, to fix any perceived weakness. But yeah, that was so that was All-Star Saturday night, man. Mac McClung, man. Shout outs to you. First time ever three-peat in the dunk contest. That was awesome. But yeah, they got to figure out something, man. Something has to make these guys do it. And Edward, I agree. I don't think Ja Morant and Giannis are going to do it. But I forgot that Giannis did participate in one way back. But yeah, I don't think these guys are going to do it. Like, it shouldn't take, if you're an elite athlete in the NBA today, it shouldn't take watching this kid Mac McClung win multiple dunk contests for you to want to get out there and entertain your fans as well. Like, even after you saw him win the first one, that should have been enough for you to say, all right,
And that could be like, nah. Yeah.
right. And then you see him win the second one, and you're like, oh hell, nah.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't have took this
He
dude
won't win
three-peat
that. He
for
won't
you to
win that.
now.
Right.
Well, he may not compete. He's won 3 in a row.
No,
So
I'm
he
just
said,
saying. Yeah, I'm saying for me, to your point, it would not have taken him to the third year for me to be looking, talking
okay,
about, let's see
right,
if he wins it this year. You know what I mean? As a
right.
competitor, the competitor in me as a dunker would have been like,
Mm-hmm.
hell no, some dude from the G League ain't winning this joint again next year.
Right.
I'm a tallest little slim. And you know what I'm saying? So I mean, kudos to him, right? And I think back to like Draymond's comments about these rising stars get to play on Sunday. Well, where's
Yeah,
that
we gonna
same
get to that
energy toward? I mean, but where's that same energy directed toward a Mac McClung, who's in the G League but coming up to win a NBA dunk contest? Like, yeah, he's took me in the NBA, right? Well, so are the rising stars, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
so again, I mean, can you imagine a Ja Morant? Zach Levine said he might jump back in there next year.
Look, I
Um,
hope so, but I just I
that would
don't
be
see it.
crazy.
But I hope
But
so.
imagine, but we're just to go down the land of the
Spitballing,
fairy
yeah,
tale lane with me. Yeah, we're going down
yeah,
Sugar Plum
yeah,
Lane right now. Gumdrops and jujubes. But imagine, bro. Imagine Zach re-entering. Imagine Ja actually getting in it. Imagine Anthony Edwards getting in it. Imagine Zion being healthy just for one season fully for his
yeah,
life so
yeah,
that he could actually participate too, bro. It would be amazing to tune in and watch. But
yeah.
what the names that I just spoke are names, bro. It's star power. It's star
Mm-hmm.
power
Agreed.
and athleticism. So that would definitely boost ratings for people to be like, yo, and shout out to Stephon Castle, bro, who did a great job
He did.
in
Once he
his
kind of got
dunks.
over the initial nerves, he started
Yeah,
doing his thing.
I think the
Yeah.
dunks that he did were incredible. You know what I mean? It
Mm-hmm.
took him a while to
Agreed.
get it. And that's the thing, like it kind of messes it up
Mm-hmm.
when you miss a dunk 12 times and then you finally do it. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it kind of takes away from something, but it's like,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't take away from the creativity. The way he
Mhm.
spun and that off arm with the, I was like, bro, what the,
Yeah,
bro,
that
that's
was cool. That
crazy.
was
If
cool.
you never dunk, you don't get it. It's like, just do it in your living room, bro. It's crazy hard, bro. It's like, that's insane. But
No
yeah,
doubt.
yeah, yeah, it was a good contest overall. Shout out to Mac McClung.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. All right, so let's take it to we'll move from All-Star Saturday night to Sunday night, which is, obviously the main one, and we had this tournament thing because Adam Silver is trying to do everything he can to come up with something to try and incentivize these guys to compete. And a lot of people think it was terrible. I don't think it was that bad.
What?
I don't think it was the most exciting thing. I kept falling asleep on it. I was trying so hard.
Come on, Bruce, you weren't even awake, bro. That doesn't
No, I'm
count.
supposed to. No, no, no. I kept waking back up.
Come
So I
on,
was
you
like
can't
in
say
and
I
out.
fell asleep on it, but I don't think it was that bad. You didn't see it,
No, no,
bro.
no.
I told you
I
I'm
was in
playing
and out. I was
Transformers
going.
today, bro.
Hey, I see. Now I was in and out though. Um, but no, from what I saw,
Right, right,
I
right.
didn't think was terrible. But I just don't think we'll ever get back to what we used to have. Guys are just different now. They're making so much money. Money is no longer an incentive. We talked about the lack of competitive fire, so that's not an incentive. I don't know what they can do. Like I said, my only thought is go back to East and West and make the winner get home court advantage in the NBA Finals. That's the only thing I can think of. I think guys would really play for that. I do.
Yeah, but not really. Because if
I know.
I was voted in as an all-star, bro,
Mm-hmm.
and my team is not on the brink of, you know, contention for NBA championship, then home court advantage ain't really gonna mean anything to be
Yeah, but
honest.
most all stars are going to be on playoff teams, so you always want an opportunity to try and, let's say your team goes on a crazy run or some other teams have
Mhm.
injuries to their key players and it just
No,
happens
I
that
get
way.
that.
Now
Yeah.
you could end up with home court advantage.
I get that,
Try
but
to get that.
I don't think that that would incentivize all of the players. You know what I mean? Like
I don't think you're
I
ever going
think,
to incentivize all of the players.
yeah, I think that the only way to really get these dudes to play again
Mm-hmm.
is is to do like any good parent would do
And what
and
is
take it
that?
away from them. Take it away from them. I wouldn't make it easy for them to get in. I take away the fan vote
Mm-hmm.
and just have the coaches start voting people in. You know what I mean? Or some other committee just start voting these cats in
But do
and
you want
vote
to
them in.
alienate the fans like that?
I do because it's not going to matter. It's not like the fan vote matters anyway. Back when the All Star game was competitive, it was because the
Mm-hmm.
fans were voted. We were voting in the All Star, and so they
Mm-hmm.
appreciated having all this fanfare and this being celebrated and praised by the fans. But when they took the vote out of and away from the fans because of this social media, outbursts and this perceived popularity that one players
Mm-hmm.
or a group of players might end up kind of getting a slight edge, and we're going to end up with some people in the game that don't deserve to be in the game,
Mm-hmm.
then that's when it kind of started to get weird. If you take it from them and just say, I don't care what you say, I'm just going to watch what these players are doing. Man, maybe over the first 2 months of the season, you were looking like an all star, but right now, you know who's looking like an all star? LaMelo Ball. I'm going to vote LaMelo in. And they put LaMelo in, and some of these other people like, what the fuck? LaMelo got in and I didn't get in. They'll play hard to them. They'll play super hard to get into that game and then to be in there to prove that LaMelo don't belong there. That's what you get. Now I'm not saying that that's the
Mm-hmm.
a likely fix, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, man, these dudes cannot just be thrown money. They can't be incentivized with like, oh, we'll give you an extra donut. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the season, we'll give you a 1 game edge in the first round of the playoffs. You'll start off automatically 1-0. It's like that really doesn't tip the scale of balance in competition fairly. You know what I mean? Because you can't. What about the people that didn't make the All Star team? All of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like this team gets home
Mm-hmm.
field, and I wasn't even a part of the thing. Like that's not fair to us. So it's the only way you do it is again just start taking it from these cats. I would take it for a couple years actually. I take it away. I take the whole weekend out. I throw it away. I throw the whole weekend away. Throw it away. Let them go on vacation for a week or
I was
two.
about to say. So do you also still give them the All-Star break? Because that's the
Yeah,
whole point. They like the
yeah.
vacation.
Let them have it. That's what they want. That's what they want, right? You want to have the vacation, and you want that time away, like everybody else is on an island someplace, and you
Hmm.
mad, man. We gotta go in here, sitting on press conferences. You gotta have a media just at 12, and then they're taking pictures. They begin through all this stuff. I just want my million so I can go on vacation. We'll go. And then what's gonna happen at contract time is that you will no longer have that all-star check on your resume also as an accolade, and so your salary's
Hmm.
coming down some too. Take it from
That's
them.
true.
Take it from them, bro. I would take it from them. I bet you they'd be like, no, 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 bro. Put the All Star back, bro, because that's an extra $5 million a year that could be on my contract. And if they'll start playing hard as shit, bro. I
Hmm.
promise you they would. It's the only thing. It's not incentivizing them with more money. Ain't the thing that's gonna make them play. Take some of that money
I
from them.
agree.
Say, bro, no more All Star game. So then it's no more. That can't count towards your contract at come. You know what I mean? Contract re-up time. Come
Hmm.
time for you to
Hmm.
resign. Yeah, we're gonna
Right.
have to sign, bro. Sorry for the thing. You can't get 345, bro. You can get 210. What?
Hmm.
No, no. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't All Star, bro. Sorry. You want All Star, bro. But there wasn't no All Star
Yeah.
games. Like, well, it's your fault that there was no All Star game. So we bring
Hmm.
it back. We can talk about some more of that big money, bro. But until then, no.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So
That's it.
before we get into the game itself, let me ask you this. I forgot about this I think it was on All-Star Saturday night. What did you think of Jello Ball's performance?
Man, what the fuck? So Bruce,
Yeah.
my professional life outside of YouTube, I produced, I think I told you this once before, I produced a weekly Wednesday event in Arizona called
Yeah.
Poetic Soul. So for
Hmm.
9 years, bro, almost 9 years, it'll be 9 years in April. And I'm not saying that I judge and critique artists. I just created this platform, and then these artists come in, poets, rappers, singers, comedians, storytellers, everybody, one stage. We got a live band, bro. It's incredible, bro. So it's been amazing to be a part of the arts community,
Okay.
and it's where the cosmic cadence comes from. Because I started as a poet, published, got books, all kinds of performed all over the place, performed on TV, PBS, stadiums, all over the place, right? But I say that to say it's been amazing to kind of just watch artists do a thing. And when I'm watching, I'm watching Jello, and I'm like, bro, do he even want to do this, bro? Does he even? There was just no life in it. It was like
None.
everybody can't do it, bro. You can make a hot song in your bedroom, but that
Hmm.
it doesn't make you a performing artist. And so I just
Hmm.
thought that was the most lackluster. It was wow, bro. It was
So
wild. I don't know.
so
What
I'm
about
a
you,
I'm a hip hop head, right? I was actually
baby?
talking to my guy Brandon and some other cats on a different thread earlier. I'm a I'm a hip hop head, right? But not this new stuff for the most part, right? And when I
Yeah.
heard this guy, I'm like, and I used to rap back in the day. I used to spit. I had bars. I'm not gonna lie. Like I recorded some
Mm.
joints and whatnot. But anyway, not the point. The point is, I said to myself, it must be nice when your brothers are so rich, like you don't have to earn, like you don't have to do a demo, you don't have to earn a deal. They can just basically they pay for your studio time,
Fun,
they could
right?
pay for your
Right.
production and all that. You don't have to
Right.
do it the same way you did. And this is the same thing like we were talking about earlier with Steph and like how we talk about the modern NBA and the no defense. Everything throughout society, yeah, Edward, old head hater, get off my lawn, whatever. But everything in the modern society has just been made so much easier for us, right?
Yeah.
I saw a clip on was it on Instagram? It was like if 90s bullies went to school today and somebody was like hey nerd, the 90s bully was like, hey nerd, do my homework. He's like, haven't you heard of Chat GPT? Like it literally will do your homework for you. So the point I'm trying to make is it's like everything now has just been made so much easier, and music is no different. And I'm not saying all the dudes now
Yeah.
are whack, but Jello
Yeah.
Ball was absolutely horrendous. I'm like, this is terrible. Sounded like he didn't rehearse. Half of what he was saying, I had no idea what it was. The beat was trash. The performance was trash. The crowd sounded like they were asleep. I was like, yo, this is
You know
just
what's funny is that the song went crazy. The song went crazy when it was released a couple months ago.
I don't
And
know how. It's not good.
but that speaks to the state of music. Period. The things that
Hmm.
I like
Hmm.
and things that you like might not be. It's just
Facts.
like it just is what it is, bro. It's weird.
Nah, that's a fact.
It's and not
We
even
spoke
to
about
say
that
stuff in
earlier.
the main.
Facts.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
even to say in the mainstream, but even at my shows, right? I've
Hmm.
watched some artists come in and do some shit, and I'm just and the crowd is just sitting there, they're just chilling. and then somebody comes in and does something, and it's the weirdest sounding song to me, but everybody like, and I'm like,
right.
all right, that's what they
Yeah,
like. That's what they
yeah,
like. You know what I mean? So
right,
I guess what people like, man, from the standpoint of the
mhm,
masses, is subjective, right?
right,
But yeah, it didn't really look like to me. It didn't sound like to me, like he was a performing artist, much of a
mhm,
performing artist, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Because if he's
right,
getting the streams and he's making his money from the streams and stuff like that, that's cool.
mhm,
Obviously, they had him on the broadcast because he was or is, is
mhm,
connected through Big Baller
yeah,
Brand and
yeah,
his
yeah,
brothers, the Ball brothers, etc. Um, but yeah, I just thought it was I thought it was a very weird, kind of a performance. I think that the whole production, I said this in the episode that I produced earlier today on my channel, that it's probably a good thing, bro, that TNT is losing the rights to the NBA, because I thought the whole production through the weekend was trash. ESPN needs to go
uh,
away too. I think you should just package them all up and just get rid of all of them, bro.
I
Send
don't
it
think the
back to
production is I'm sorry to cut you. I don't think the production is uh hold on, Edward. I don't think the production is trash. I think that the difference
Mhm.
is that they really are very much beholden to the sponsors because the product has gotten so much worse.
Yeah. So
Real quick,
so
hold on. Let me
oh,
answer
go
Cali
ahead. Yeah.
Observer. This has been up here for a minute. Cali Observer, I would say for me, I can't speak for anyone else. The reason that I talk a lot about the All-Star game being so bad, but don't talk about NFL flag football, the NFL Pro Bowl's been gone for a while now, so we're numb to the flag football piece, right? The NBA All-Star game is still going on, and they're trying all these ridiculous different things to try and keep it afloat when it's just a lousy product because these guys don't want to play. I think to me, that's the difference. And Edward, yeah, Q is an East Coast cat. He's a DC dude. But go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm saying if you go back to the beginning, right? Even like and we were talking about this before, Ahmad
Mm-hmm.
Rashad, inside
Yeah.
stuff. It was like a
Yeah.
jam session.
Yeah,
After
man.
inside stuff went off, there was like this jam that took place where you were watching like the mascots dunking, and it was just
Mm-hmm.
all this excitement, folks just in the gym just doing some things. That
Mm-hmm.
was kind of the introduction of like celebrities performing and things like that on TV. That is metastasized into this, what we have as a production now.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday seemed, and Jello was Saturday night, but it all seems too award show ish to me. You know what I mean? It's like I'm watching
Yeah,
the fucking
that's
BET
exactly what
Awards
it
or the
was.
All Star game, bro. And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's not that I don't appreciate seeing Raphael Sadiq getting the Tony
that was
vibes.
cool.
Not that I didn't appreciate seeing, Too Short,
Yeah, yeah,
E40, and
right,
Vogue. You know what I
right.
mean? Like, it's not that I didn't appreciate seeing them, but to me, in my opinion, all of that extra had no place in the All Star game. Even you could watch at the point of them doing and that's why I'm talking about the production, right? I'm going back to this production was trash point.
Mm-hmm.
Even at the point, because they're doing all these weird intermissions in between quarters, so the guys they're always warming up, and then you got them chilling, and then you got to try to warm up again somehow and stretch and get these are professional athletes, bro. Respectfully, once you get their engines, you got to let them go, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And so at one point, while they were doing the whole gone fishing bit,
Yeah, I
or
was
no,
like,
I'm
it's too
sorry. I'm
much.
sorry. In between quarters, not the gone fishing bit first. It was between quarters. Kevin Hart's doing this weird thing where he's talking to Shea about, you got the muscles on. Stop letting the 3-point shooter shoot threes and take them in the post and and
Mm-hmm.
take it to him, Shea, and you got the muscles on, and they like literally the refs are holding the ball. They're waiting. The refs
Mm-hmm.
are not giving the ball to the man out of bounds. They're waiting for Kevin to finish his bit because that is
Mm-hmm.
woven into the fabric of the game. And Shea at that point is like, give him the ball, bro. Let's go. I just want to play ball, bro. Bro, give him the ball, bro. Come on, I don't got time for all of this. And so that's what I mean by you're doing all this extra stuff, bro, that has nothing to do with the actual game of basketball. Imagine we had, I don't know, crisscross come out there talking about jump in the
Right,
late 80s, early 90s while Jordan and them out there between first and second quarter. Like, y'all get y'all little ass out of the way. Like, bro, we already play basketball, bro.
right. No, I
What
think again, it
we,
comes
we,
down to they know how bad the product is, so they try to fill it up with a bunch of other stuff to make it enjoyable. And real quick, as you mentioned, Raphael Sadiq, and they had that band up there early on for the intros. It was cool, but I'll tell you what disappointed me. When they started playing that 93 till infinity, I was like, oh, they about to do it. And they gave it to me for like 15 seconds and then just went to something else. I was not happy about that. I really thought I was going to get 93 till infinity. I was like, no. Like, I
feel like all that stuff to waste, bro. And I understand your point. I understand them wanting to do things to fill the space. I understand. I can understand you trying to spice it up and do it a little bit different than it's been done in the past and things like that, bro. But you don't have to you don't have to stray too far away from it's that reinvention of the wheel thing. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to stray too far away from what worked in order to keep the sponsors happy, to keep the fans watching so that they could see the advertisers commercials that are running and that sort of a thing. I think the NBA has by and large, has a good narrative and storytelling issue. And I think that the time would have been much better served through this weekend if they had just taken the opportunity to, instead of doing all this extra time wasting during what performance, etc. Bro, they could have ran recorded segments of sitting down talking to these all-stars with their families, showing them what they do and to get ready, showing what they do to kind of unwind and relax, talking about what the rest of this what it means to be an all-star, what the remainder of this season is going to look like in terms of them making a push to try to get their team into the playoffs, etc. That would have been a much better use of the time because it would have endeared us to the actual basketball player in the game itself and not all this stuff that had nothing to do with basketball. Kevin Hart is 5 foot, 4 foot, 2 pounds. I guess he was not a basketball player. Why is he out here? I get the comedic attempts, but it's like, come on, bro. This has nothing to do with basketball. Let's get this.
But that's exactly it, though. They understand that the basketball is not holding up its part. That's why they have to do all the other stuff. They understand that. They know it. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. So they should have redirected towards some things that will get the fans on board with the basketball. They just don't talk enough about the players anymore.
I don't know that that's who they're looking to market to. You know what I'm saying? Like basketball purists. No, I don't think they're looking to market to purists, basketball purists. I really don't. It's the same way like when it comes to music, they've never really looked to I'll use hip hop because that's my favorite genre of music. They've never really looked to market to hip hop purists, right? They're not marketing to them. They're marketing to the masses. So what do? The catchy stuff, the bouncy stuff, the down south type flavor, right? Not the real lyrics and all that. Right. They're not looking for bars, right? Real beats and rhymes. That's not it. Yeah. So, they're looking for Dr. Seuss Mother Goose. So that's where it's much easier to market that. But yeah, so man, we got off on a tangent here, but that's all right. That's what we do here. We have some great discussions. But anyway, yeah, so we get to
I agree with that last point that was on screen, my bad. That the NBA players the last about the NBA players treating the All-Star game like the NFL players did the Pro Bowl, and I'm not sure who that was, but I saw it just as you were taking it down.
Yeah.
But I agree with that, bro. And that's why the Pro Bowl went away. That's why they eventually turned it into this whole flag thing because they started to get kind of prima donna-ish about, yeah, man, we don't want to get hurt, blah blah blah. And so I introduced that as a premise also that maybe the NBA needs to change around when they actually do this All-Star game because the guys really do want the break. Give them the break. Let them take some time off. It's the midway point, 50 or so games. It's a little beyond the midway point of an 82-game season with 50 some odd games being played. Give the guys a bit of a week off or so, and then circle back to do this All-Star game when the season's over because obviously our high school that's the apex of my having played ball, but our high school All-Star games were after the season. You know what I mean? So my senior year, I played in 3 different All-Star games, but that was when the season was over. I probably would not have done it if it was in the middle of the season, or I probably would have did it because I was crazy back then. And I just love playing ball. But the point is that it was the timing of the games that mattered, or it matters also. Let's just say that. So for these players, maybe they would be better suited to do the All-Star thing out of season. But then, based on how they've been acting, I could probably lean to they'd be like, nah. By the time now, a grueling 82-game season plus the playoffs is over, Man, these dudes really just want to go on vacation now. So what's the
Right.
fix? And so the only fix that I can see, bro, is just doing exactly what the NFL did, is just take it out. Because that flag football cannot last long either. If they haven't already
Right.
taken that thing
Right.
out, it's time
Right.
for it to go, man. Just gotta take it. It's over. So time has passed. We gotta do something different.
No doubt, no doubt. All right, let's get to the game, and then we'll take some calls and get up out of here. But one of the things that stood out to me, and I love this, we're talking about the lack of competitive fire and competitive fervor among these players. But one guy,
in the post.
I'm sorry, let me unmute that. One guy that stood out to me.
He always does. In the post.
We saw Wemby really doing his thing, and I loved it.
See that head to take it back.
He tried to defend. He tried to score. He played with some aggression, and I loved
Tyler
it.
Hero again missed that one. They're defending him. Oh, we got a little pressure.
He almost got caught that time.
40. Williams lost the handle. Potentially 2 possessions away from a win here. Team Shaq.
And if he gonna keep
The right fervor, but I don't know that. And hopefully Wemby and the younger generation, the Jalen Williams, who was in the game, Stephon Castle, who was a rising star, I believe, but then competed in the dunk contest. You know what I mean? Like some of these others. Hopefully that generation, like I said, we already won two
Right.
generations deep in this participation trophy. Hopefully these kids coming up now, they're more deeply embedded AAU culture, so they were used to actually competing and rankings and stuff like that. So maybe that's the answer, Bruce. Maybe it's a legitimate ranking. They should rank these players, and that's how you get into the All-Star game. You have to literally be among the elite top. Create some ranking system that only puts in the top 15 to 30 players
Right.
or what have you. I don't know what they pick,
Yeah.
24. The top 24 in the league, literally the top 24 through some ranking system that nobody else can control, but some computer like Gilbert Arenas always says, just spitting out the data. And it's like, bro, can't
Right.
argue with the computer, bro. The computer says that you ain't that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but computers can't identify context. That's the other problem.
No,
But
I know. That's the
what I'll
problem
say
with his
here, though,
argument, and I'm here agreeing with it.
what I'll say here, though, maybe we get away from some of the buddy AAU stuff as the league continues to get more international, because those guys aren't necessarily growing up playing together. They're growing up competing against one another. So maybe we'll have less of the super team things, unless you see, a number of guys from the same national team who played together overseas and now they're playing in the league. For instance, you got what's his name? You got Ricochet in Atlanta, and then you got Alex Sarr in Washington, and then of course you got Wemby in San Antonio. So maybe these guys don't want to like attack each other, take each other's head off. Maybe they do. But you kind of get the general premise. Like, as the league is more and more international, more players from different places, now you don't have to worry as much about, okay, all these guys are on AAU together, so they're going to be buddies. Maybe these guys really want to compete, and that could be a good thing, even though it's supposed to be an American game or a North American game. But hey, if you don't want to take care of it, guys are going to come take it from you. So
yeah, that's true. But something just clicked, Bruce, while you were saying it too. And you was like, get away from this AAU kind of a thing. And you said super team. And it really struck a chord with me, because that's what the All-Star game and that's what the All-Star teams are all about. They're about forming super teams, a team of the most extraordinary talent in the actual league, bro, and in the actual industry. And so if I had to realistically chart the degradation of the All-Star game, it would have been when the league started to allow super teams to prevail inside the actual structure of the NBA. Because now it's not interesting for us to watch a league of a team of superheroes, only 2 teams assemble, when we can see it, and we're burned out from seeing it in the others. So the players stop showing up, you know what I mean, to compete. And it's so weird, bro. But that's the time for super teams should be in the NBA. Imagine how excited I used to be excited personally, because I'm like, yo, I get to see Jordan team up. I get to see what it would look like if Jordan was teammates with Patrick Ewing.
Oh, right.
If
Yeah,
Jordan
that's
was
a great point.
teammates with Reggie Miller. If
Right.
Jordan was you know what I mean? Like that's why the All-Star game excited me growing up. And for these guys, obviously the format was, they've toyed and tinkered with format changes a few times, where they were letting the top vote getters choose teams, and so you have people from East, West. There's all this weird stuff that's been happening. over
Look,
the
man,
years.
if they want to know how they want to handle the format, just holler at me. I got this.
That's how I feel, bro. I mean, I am a consultant for hire, bro.
I got you, man. I got you. So real quick, let me say this, and then we'll get on. I'll answer this question, then we'll get on to the game. Back to the game.
Great question. Yeah.
Yeah. No, great question, and I'll get to that in 1 second. But you mentioned super teams, so before someone in the chat goes, super teams have always existed, Bruce. Again, let me say, player-generated super teams and organization-generated super teams are not the same. Okay. All right. Edward asked the question to the panel: how come foreign players cannot be the face of the NBA? Look what Victor is doing. So what I'll say is this: being the face of the NBA is not just about how good you are on the floor. Being the face of the NBA is about it's about connecting with the NBA fans. It's about the marketing opportunities. It's about these different things, right? Not just how great you are as a player. And so the reason I will continue to say, until I'm proven wrong, that a foreign player cannot be the face of the NBA is not because of that foreign player. It's because of American exceptionalism as an ideal. It's because of American ethnocentrism as an ideal. American fans on the whole, right? With America being 58% as of recent demographics, 58% people who identify mostly or all as white and American. They're just not going to take people from other countries and make them the face of anything American, specifically an American league. It's just not going to happen because that's not how Americans are wired on the whole to accept international diversity. Like, we know that. That's just a fact. For instance, even among white people who came to this country throughout the past from many other countries, what did they do? When they came here, they had to anglicize their names, right? Tom Brady. You think his ancestor's name was Brady? Probably O'Brady, right? But guess what? Irish people were heavily were discriminated against, right? We've seen the signs in our history books: no Irish need apply, right? Help wanted, no Irish need apply. So they were heavily, mistreated and discriminated against. Italian people were literally lynched in the South, down in New Orleans and Louisiana, lynched just like Black people were. So when people came to this country, in order to fit in America, despite the fact that America was built on the backs of immigrants and enslaved people, they had to anglicize and Americanize their names. And so with all of that quick little history lesson, there's no way a foreign player is ever going to be the face of the NBA. It's just not going to happen. Q, what are your thoughts on that?
Unless we get a legitimate European Michael Jordan. There ain't nothing that we can do about it, because good is good.
Highly unlikely, but possible.
Highly unlikely, but I'm just saying. But if that player comes along, and very well could, that is just good, bro. Because the one thing that I do know is that people are fickle and finicky and biased and racist and bigoted and all these things, right, that we know to be true. But at the heart of, and we, this is not a blanket statement of all people,
right?
But just some, you know what I mean? Like, it's not all bad. There's as many good people in the world as there are bad people. And so there are as many people in the world who want to celebrate diversity, equity, inclusion, and who want to celebrate, the differences between what we've seen and what we've experienced than what is. You know what I mean? So I know that for certain, or feel that for certain, rather, I'll say, I don't know, but I feel for certain that if that player emerged, like, you're talking about anglicizing things, much like Caitlin Clark, out of nowhere, the best female basketball player we've seen in the last 10 years. Like, she's not, she's not. But for what she's done and her impact, she absolutely has a lane that she carved on her own. And that impact is massive, and that impact is supported. There's a lot of pushback that comes as a result of most of it because of how, maybe some of her praise is doled out that rubs people the wrong way, etc. Like, she ain't the first. I ain't giving nobody respect to her. It's like, shut the fuck up. She good. You know what I mean? We're just talking about her being good now. So that's what I mean. Like, you get the sensationalism of a player, man, it just comes out of nowhere and just shakes things up. People will jump on board. You know what I mean? Now, could that then lead to the point where that foreign player becomes the face of the NBA, well, that will certainly remain to be seen.
There you go. All right. So I love the fact that Wemby was really out there trying to compete, but when it came down to it, we saw a familiar face, and I don't know if it was. I guess it was partly a familiar face and partly the fact that it was his home arena, but we saw the All-Star MVP end up being Steph Curry, and he put on a bit of a show himself.
McClung, very entertaining slam dunk once again. He's done a great job. And Stephen Curry,
Oh my God!
fly, rainmaker.
That's teammate on teammate.
That's Reggie. Shots fired. Stephen Curry, a running three-pointer.
Sometimes you have to. They need to leave him on the floor too.
Yeah.
Oh, Steph!
Right,
Don't
Curry.
do it to him.
He said, I told
Crazy. It just looked like he was having fun out there. But again, no defense. I mean, I don't expect the glove to be out there or Meta Sanford or Artest or any of those guys. But man, Can we try a little bit? Please? I guess it's just.
Well, Bruce, I'll say they did try a little bit. You know what I mean? To their credit. You might have missed it between snoozes, but they did try a little bit. I think that the game was a lot more competitive in fairness. Or the games in general, because it wasn't just one game that we watched. That championship game was a fucking blowout, so that was not indicative of what we saw from a competition standpoint. But the Rising Stars put up a really good fight, you know what I mean? And naturally they would, because these are kids who, are just out there playing. They're just playing their hardest, trying to do the unthinkable. But not that there was no defense played in that in the final round, right? They played some defense, but you get the Olay style of players driving to the basket and just being able to do their thing. I don't think that a lot of times, when I hear people critiquing the lack of defense in the NBA, I always want to make sure that we're giving respect to how they're running these spread offenses now. So if everybody's perimeter, oriented and perimeter positioned, then all I have to do is beat my man off the dribble to get to the basket. If I get into the right switch as a guard, then I just have to blow past a big, and it's very easy for a person to blow past a big.
No doubt, but my problem with that, and I'm not trying to get into an X's and O's decision, and obviously I'm not a coach. Stop this switching everything crap. Stop that. That's where we get in problems, right? Because remember, when we were growing up, okay, let's say I'm the point guard and you're the big, and I get caught in the pick, right? And you pop out to help me. You're not switching on to my man.
No,
you're hedging. Thank you. You're hedging and showing long enough for me to fight through the pick and get back to my assignment. Then you drop back down to defend your man in your area on the floor. Now, obviously, it's not always going to be that simple. There's other actions going on to hopefully take you out of position. But that's the main goal. And I'm not saying there's never a time where switching is appropriate. But when we do this switching everything, I think that's a big part of why we get into problems. But that's just me. And I know I'm old school, but that's just me. So
it's also why you hear silly stuff, Bruce, like, well, he can guard 1 through 5, when it's like, he can't. You know what I mean? Like, he can't.
Well, okay, so here's the deal, right? When it comes to he who shall not be named, who supposedly can guard 1 through 5, I guess it's easy to guard 1 through 5 when most of your 5s aren't real 5s anymore, right? It's like, could he really guard 1 through 5 if the 5 was down, if it was D-Rob down on the block, or if it was Ewing, or if it was Dream, or if it was Shaq? I wouldn't see him guarding that 5 then.
We know the answer.
Right. Could he guard that 4 if it was Sean Kemp, whether it's on the post or on the elbow, or if it was Derek Coleman, right? Charles Barkley, Karl Malone. There you go. Kevin Garnett. He couldn't guard none of those 4s. Kevin McHale, put him in the torture chamber, right? Who are these 4s that he's guarding? So this
Anthony Mason.
Right. These whole he can guard 1 through 5. Yeah, it's a lot easier. Right. Exactly. So we're not going to get into that, but it's, yet another myth that's pushed, by the media. Anyway, so Steph ends up winning. It's so hard to not let this guy, basically co-opt every NBA discussion you have, but I guess that's by design that he has. Yeah. And there's what is it? There's no such thing as bad publicity. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I was gonna infuse something that'll create maybe a bit of controversy and take us off of
Go for it, man.
LeBron.
Yeah.
So sure, Steph, hometown boy, gets the All-Star MVP.
Yeah, we see
Who
that a
led
lot.
who led the team? Yeah, we see it a lot. So it's not like it's like, but who had the most eight
Tatum.
of the first 11. Jason Tatum scored 8 of the first 11 points, bro. So Jason Tatum's impact on that game was a whole lot. It was a whole lot, you know what I mean, more important than Steph's trades. I'm not saying Steph's trades weren't valuable, but I'm saying, man, who kept him afloat until Steph could hit those big trades, much like the Olympics.
Right. I
Stick
know a
around
guy
till
who said
Steph could
Tatum is not
save
even
the
a top
day.
10 NBA player. I'm just saying.
Man, Tatum got robbed again, man. He's yet got robbed out of another trophy, bro. Like, what is going on? I know my man's like, yo, what I gotta do, bro? Like, why they don't like me? I ain't even do. Who do I need to apologize to?
They don't like him because he light skinned, I guess. I don't know.
It's terrible, man.
I'm being facetious when I say that, y'all. I don't believe in that colorism crap, but some people do. But
wow, bro.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what man's got to do, man. It's like what my man's got to do to get some respect, bro. It's crazy.
He's got to average 50 in the finals, and no, he's got to average 50, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists. There you go.
Nah, bro, they still get a Finals MVP to Porzingis or something, bro. They find a way, bro. They find a way. They give it to the coach or something, bro. There's no way, bro. There's no way.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Crazy.
But yeah, so Steph got the All-Star Game MVP. Oh, and before we finish up with this and then take the calls, man, I wanted to touch on Draymond Green, who I really think they really need to keep microphones away from this guy. He had some interesting commentary because if you heard, he was really ripping the fact that the rising star guys were getting to get, onto the all-star floor. So let's hear what he had to say. We'll come back, comment on that one, then we'll open up these phone lines. I know we got some people waiting to call. Oh, Draymond, man, keep a microphone away from this dude. I think they just like him because he says things that rile people up. He's controversial. I don't like anything this cat has to say, man, because he has a truly exaggerated sense of self-worth, man. I don't think he realizes that, yes, he's worked hard in his career, but he is the luckiest dude ever to fall into the spot into which he fell, man. What are your thoughts? Because I don't want to go off on Draymond.
Yeah, so the cognitive dissonance is like so apparent when it comes to Draymond, and most of the things that he expresses is because I can agree with him, 100%. From a standpoint of principle, it's the All-Star game. It's designed to highlight the All-Stars. Yeah, bro, two things can be true. I can agree with that 100%. But when the All-Stars haven't taken it serious over the last handful or better years, and the league then has to step in and do something different to bolster the All-Star game because the All-Stars haven't been able to carry the game themselves or haven't desired to, then man, what else are you supposed to do? You can't make this up. So I understand what he means, and I agree 100%, but I also agree that it's the All-Stars' fault that we have to reach around and do all this weird circuit creation of, some kind of an environment. So you can't have it both ways, I would say to Draymond. And just throwing money at the thing ain't the fix. My lady don't like me. I don't care how many purses I go and buy her. If she don't like me, she don't like me. I can't be like, oh, let me take her to dinner tonight. Oh, let me take her. I haven't been treating her well in other areas. Buying her gifts ain't gonna matter. So giving these players more money is not the fix. They have to fix that what's in their chest, bro, what's in their heart, and what's in their head in terms of playing the game. They just like the money. You know what I mean? So it's almost like they're holding the league ransom to be like LeBron last night. It's almost like LeBron reminded me of a rapper in his approach to yesterday's or this weekend's All-Star performance period. The Joker that's in his room or outside in the car, and he's like, when you get that 30 stacks and y'all got that 30 stacks cash in that briefcase, you let me know, or do you let me know? Because I'm not stepping a foot in that building unless you got that money to perform. You know what I mean? So count it up. Hand it to my guys coming to grab it. You know what I mean? And then I'll get out of this car. But I ain't getting out until then. And that's almost what the players are doing, bro. And it's just not cool. It's like because it's again to the detriment of the actual league. So while I can agree with Draymond's take and it's going out, going off passionately, which I thought it was very impassioned spiel, which I can agree with, but
Mhm.
without context, it just seems like, man, Draymond's right, and we should just listen to him.
No,
And it's like, what's the real
no.
context here? The real
Right.
context is that you guys ruined the All-Star game. You ruined this for yourselves. And so, yeah, these kids may not deserve to be playing because they played on Friday night, but to
So we
drag them
gotta
like
do
they
something.
are,
Yeah.
it's like he used harping on them doing it as
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
this is the worst thing that could possibly ever happen is you got these disrespecting us by putting us on the court with these rising stars. No, you disrespected us by getting on the court and not actually playing when we voted you guys in as all stars and we respect you in this prestigious event and on this prestigious occasion, which has been the All Star game, and you guys haven't shown up. You're disrespectful. You guys have repeatedly been disrespectful to us. And so I told you the only fix, bro, to take it from him. Take it from him, man. But yeah, we gonna let somebody else play this weekend and not have y'all
Right.
play. And then once that thing gains popularity, then they'll see it and they'll be like, "Oh man, won't y'all let us participate? Won't
Mhm.
y'all ask us? We do it if they asked us."
Mhm.
Take
There
it
you
from them.
go. There you go. Good stuff. All right, I'm gonna open up these phone lines now. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know the number. But let's do this. I think we have a number of people who want to call. So let's keep these calls to 5 minutes or less. Get directly to your point, and we'll do our best to answer, and then we'll go from there. All right, let's get it. Edward, what's good, my brother?
What's going on, Brucey?
Maintain it, man.
My DC guy. What's up, man? What's going
What
on?
up? What up? What up, Ed?
What's up, here? So shout out to Big O. That I know that Big O was.
I know if you didn't know who Big
Yeah,
O was, I would banish you forever from basketball talk. But go ahead.
I know, man. I know. Shout out to Oscar Robertson, man. I love his comment when he talked about Draymond's ring.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he made a good point about that.
He did.
I mean, it sounded like, it sounded like Draymond was kind of jealous about that because he said he was. Oh, I mean, like, what? You just mad because you didn't get into the All Star? I mean, you only been
Maybe.
there 4 times. It's pretty hard,
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with Big O. That was my point about that. Now, my question
Yo,
for both
Ed.
of y'all, I don't know if y'all touched on it or not. How did y'all feel about LeBron saying the last minute he was not playing in the All Star game?
I was really, you know how it gets when we start discussing LeBron. That can go down the rabbit hole quickly, but I'll just keep it brief and say I didn't like it because I felt like if he knew he wasn't going to play, which it's my assumption he did, no proof, but my assumption, I felt like he could have allowed someone else to have that opportunity. That's my thought.
And while I'll piggyback on that, Ed, and I'll say while I agree with Bruce, I also feel like it was planned that he wasn't going to play, bro. He wasn't even a part of any of the festivities. Wasn't even in town
There you go.
until yesterday. He did not
That's right.
arrive in San Francisco until yesterday. And
Mm-hmm.
much like Giannis, when Giannis was introduced as a player, an all-star this year, but who won't be playing because of injury, Giannis was at least suited up. LeBron didn't even
Yes.
come out suited up, bro. He's
Nope.
disrespectful, bro. He had no intention of playing in that
Okay.
game yesterday at all, bro.
But guess what? He wanted that
Okay.
attention, though. But go ahead, Ed.
Okay. So Anthony Edwards was at the last minute too. Why is there no criticism for Anthony Edwards?
Edward, I keep trying to tell you.
I'm asking a question, Bruce. I'm asking a question, Bruce. I'm just asking. I'm asking
Right. And I'm going to answer you. I keep trying to tell you, here's the difference. It's different with LeBron because Anthony Edwards, let's be real, when you're in life at different positions, right? Do people expect more from me than they expect from my 8-year-old son? Let me ask you that. They do, right?
Of course, you're an adult.
Okay, but the point is, I've been around longer. I know better. I have achieved more in life, so the expectation is greater, right? Okay, my daughter's an adult. Do people expect more from me than they do from my 22-year-old daughter?
Well, now.
Yes, they do. The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Okay. But should she also follow and see what you're doing? I mean, like, where she wants to go in the opposite direction. But anyway, but my thing is that, like, I don't hear nobody criticize Anthony Edwards, he did the same thing. He waited at the last minute.
So
That's
to your
true.
point,
No, that's true.
they should be criticizing Anthony Edwards, but it's not going to be the same because LeBron has a much larger profile, like I've tried to tell you. And LeBron is, for whatever reason, in the GOAT discussion where he should not be. Every time we turn around, Clutch Sports is telling you how fantastic this dude is, how he walks on water, raises the dead, and saves the sick, right? So that's why that's why it's always going to be different with LeBron. You know that, and I know that.
No, that's real.
Okay, but we also heard that the fact that Anthony Edwards was that everybody's saying that he reminds him of a young MJ. But
and that's absurd. And that's absurd.
But you heard that argument. You heard those conversations though.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Yeah, we've heard a lot of conversations.
I don't agree with it.
You got anything else, Ed?
Man, no, man, I really don't, man. Plus checked in first. Boy, I'm just questioning, man. That's all
I
it
got
was,
you.
man, about that, man.
I appreciate it.
You watching the show, man. You know, I love to mess with you, Bruce.
I know you do, man. It's all good. I appreciate the call and I appreciate the support, brother. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, water.
No doubt. All right. I saw a Laker Nation call. I saw a Brandon call. 5 minutes. Let's get right to the point. Yeah, go ahead. Let's do it. I know, I think it was Dante Brown wanted to call in. I saw that. Yeah, so let's get in line, y'all. Laker Nation, what up?
I'm just going to say what I got to say quick. Good to see you, Opinion State. I watch the show.
What's good, brother?
All the time, man. You got good content. I agree with a lot of things you say, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, I watch your show all the time. Subscribe to your channel as well.
Thank you.
I'm gonna say this. I was gonna say this. Ratings are down is because we as human beings can see bullshit when we see it. If the players not caring, we see the players not caring over the year.
Mm-hmm.
It being buddy teaming up. Why the fuck are we gonna care and invest our time and our money into this product?
Talk to him, Laker Nation.
I mean that is 100%, and I'm gonna say it's gonna piss off the LeBron supporters. I don't care. Started with him, and to back up my point is I sent you that clip earlier today, Bruce. I hope you checked it out.
Which one was that?
When he said have proof that ratings and decline, everything started in 2010 when he made that.
Yeah,
for Miami, and that's when everything started going downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The younger generation is competing. Like I work with AAUs and all that all the time.
Okay.
These kids go to school together and they're like, "Oh yeah, we about to play each other this weekend." They be talking shit to each other all week until it's game time.
Okay.
And they go at each other, but they still be boys afterwards. They go at each other.
That's how it should be.
Like the competition is there ingrained into their head. It's just when you get into this fraternity and they telling you, and they're seeing the OGs that they all buddy, and I was like, oh, so this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of take that away from them, but I think over time when they start phasing out, the instincts will come back in and they'll get back to competing. It's going to take a while for the James Hardens and them to get out of the league first, and that buddy mentality get out the way, and they get back to competing again. It'll come back because it's there. You see what these guys doing in college right now. The competition is there. They just get in the league and get into that environment, and they kind of lose it for a little bit. But it's there. I think Wemby's trying to bring it back because you see that fire in that kid.
Yeah, it seems that way.
He's trying to bring it back. He looked pissed off that people weren't playing hard.
Yeah.
So
that's a good thing.
That's all I want. That's all I want to say. Is that and that format looked like I was watching a concert with basketball in the middle yesterday.
Yeah, man, that was
like a comedy.
I was so blown, bro.
Yeah, it was tough to deal with. It was too much. They was doing too much. But again, they knew that the product is substandard, so they try to fill it with. They try to give us filler help.
Laker Nation. It was like a concert, like you said, with basketball commercials, bro. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna get off because I know you know it's Monday. I want to get the show up, but I agree with. I had that same. I was thinking the same thing when I was watching it for the little time I was yesterday. I was like, why have this idiot Kevin Hart saying jokes that aren't funny and having all these extra performances? Why don't they invest in these players and make the audience and these kids care about them and talk about their journey? Talk about their journey to the All-Star. Talk about how they even came into the league, they struggles. So give them something they can relate to, because these kids is out there in the gym working on their game every day. Let them see Wemby out there getting 1,000 shots up a day. Anthony Edwards hitting that weight room, and they'd be like, okay, yeah, I see them. But they see them bullshit, and they're like, and I'm working my ass off, and these guys are there. Why the hell should I keep doing all this shit? My dad and my coaches are telling me, work hard, you'll make it, and then you giving them this shit show.
That's real.
I mean, show them what they are being told. Like, show them guys actually grinding.
Right.
Yeah.
And their stories of how they got there. I think that's what's going to change.
Yes, sir.
Fair enough. That's a good idea.
Yes, sir. Laker Nation, me and you, man, in the marketing department for the NBA, brother. Let's change this ship, man. Let's correct the course, bro. I agree 100%, bro. 100%, bro.
Hey, when my podcast get going, can you say that these are the topics I'm going to be talking about? And
let's go.
I'm going to be I'm going to put some of these young athletes out there so they can get exposed and tell their stories, and you can see that these kids out here are fucking grinding. They are grinding. Like, I had a kid. I'm not trying to take over the show, but I had a kid yesterday doing the All-Star game. He didn't even watch the shit. He out there in his backyard, jumping rope, doing defensive slides, doing squats, building up his lower body, hitting that box, and out there handling the rock, getting shots up the whole 3 hours.
Yeah, motivated, different.
Like, that's what I want. That's what I'm going to put out there. That's what I'm going to show. Like, I'm trying to put in the passion back in basketball, not this circus that's being shoved down everybody's throat.
No doubt.
But thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Opinion Said. Both of y'all got a great show. Thank you for having me on. Let me say my piece. And one.
Appreciate you, bro. Always. All right. Great call from Opinion Stated. Appreciate that. Brandon Bryce, I know you were trying to call in. I know, I think Dante Brown was mentioning earlier that he wanted to call in. I don't know if you're still with us. Give us a call if you can. Numbers on the screen. Brandon waiting for you. Dante Brown waiting for you. Anybody else that wants to call in and say their piece before we go ahead and call it a night.
Yeah, Bruce, while we wait on the call to come in, man, I couldn't agree with Laker Nation more, bro. Like, again, the storylines, because I can remember being a young athlete, like he's saying, and just a young dreamer. It doesn't even necessarily have to be relatable to athletes. It could be some young dreamer out there that just needs to see a professional and a person who's achieved their dream and working their absolute ass off, bro. Just like working their hardest to achieve their dream.
Here we go. Edward got a question for you, Q, while we waiting, man. Go ahead.
Okay,
Jesus
here we go.
Christ.
While we waiting, Q, do you like Southern hip hop? Old school Southern hip hop, yeah. Obviously, man, Outkast came in and just kind of shook things up. But prior to Outkast, I was, you know what I mean, UGK. Who, Outkast? Yeah, because they were more kind of popping. But Southern Playalistic was crazy. But yeah. So you know what I mean. I'm talking UGK, Scarface. You know what I mean, like that South for me. Yeah, like that's a little different.
Scarface was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edward always getting on me. He's a Memphis cat, and he's Bruce,
yeah.
why the disrespect to the Southern rap? I'm like, because I don't like Dr. Seuss, Mother Goose rhymes, like, and trap music don't do it for me. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's gone the way of trap. You know what I mean? A whole lot, but yeah, Southern rap, man, was where it was at for a minute after New York kind of lost their grip.
Right. Yeah, that was never my steez. Oh, here we go. Here go Bruce. Bruce, what up? What up? Somebody was waiting for you to call in. Somebody in the chat. What you got, brother?
They go that mad again. Mama, they go that mad.
Yeah.
Say again, man.
So how you feeling tonight?
Oh, doing all right, man. Doing all right. Wait, hold on a second. Edward, I'm not a real one because I don't like Southern rap. I got you. Bruce, go ahead, man. I'm just messing with Edward. Go ahead.
All right, man. Listen. Sit back and think. It would have been beneficial if LeBron got in the dunk contest when he said it was.
Mm-hmm.
It most definitely would have been beneficial to the NBA and his legacy.
Mm-hmm.
But for the media, put the the sole blame on him, how everybody trying to do today, I just don't agree with. So I'm gonna keep that short. Most definitely, he should have gotten the dunk contest. And everybody putting the blame on him, but he's not all the blame.
No,
it would have been beneficial. It would have been beneficial if he would have gotten the dunk contest.
Agreed.
But hey, everybody different, you know. Maybe it was a business decision. Maybe he feared being embarrassed. Hey, we all human. But you know, all the greats, you know, the highs of the past were in the dunk contest. It's like an unwritten rule, like it had to be solidified, right?
Mm-hmm.
He should have been. He even 2010. He said he was going to be in the dunk contest. I think, and he didn't go it, but he didn't.
You're breaking up, bro. You're breaking up.
For him not to, you hear me now?
Yeah, I think so. Try again.
For him not to try to do it, that's on him. You know what I mean? You can't say that he influenced others not to do it. High flyers not to do it. But that's neither here nor there.
Hey, Bruce, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead,
Bruce. Hey, real quick, because you're talking about the legacy, and I agree with you 100%. I love that you went and thought about it. I'm classically. I just want to give you a shout out, man, because you're not a part of the panel, bro, but you're a part of the show, and I appreciate it. I'm always, anytime I tune in and you call him, man, you giving Bruce the business, bro, and I love it. You keep him honest. And so I can appreciate your perspective and your take on a whole bunch of things, and especially this one. I love how humble you came in with it. Like, I sat back and thought about it, and this is what I thought about. So you talk about his legacy, right? And let me ask you a question. How much help do you think this would have been to LeBron's legacy? Let's say, for instance, he did decide to go to college, but he decided to play for HBCU, and he would have taken, say, a Howard University or Morehouse or just somebody with a basketball team, right? HBCU with a basketball team to the NCAA tournament and won it all. What do you think that would have done for LeBron's legacy?
Wow, that's a great question. God damn.
That is a great question. Wow.
That's a great question. If he would have took an HBCU to the finals and won it all,
he'd be the GOAT.
He'd be the GOAT,
bro. He'd be the GOAT, bro. He'd be the GOAT, bro. He'd be the GOAT, bro. At HBCU, bro, he'd be the GOAT, bro.
Yes.
I was thinking about that. I just wanted to ask you because I knew I'd get a good answer from you.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Oh, you take an HBCU too? Oh, come on, man. But that's a great question. I would have never thought of that one. You dug deep for that one. Who this opinion stated?
Yeah.
This opinion stated? How you doing?
Yes,
nice to meet you, brother.
Likewise, brother.
I disagree with you. I got kind of disagree on you on one thing about the dunk contest, about the prop thing. I was listening to the show. I was busy doing something. I was listening to the show the whole time. You said you want to see these guys is bouncing. No props, no jumping over nothing, no, you know what I'm saying? So I can respect that. You just want that Jordan, you want that Jordan Diamond, just raw going at it. Like, and you know what I'm saying? Just no props, this crazy dunk, right? No props. So I went back and looked at all three of Matt McGlow and dunks without no props. He got it in him now. He did a 440.
I know.
You go back and listen to his second dunk contest. He did a 440, not a 360.
Right.
A 440.
Mm-hmm.
He did a 360 windmill reverse. He don't need the props, but the props.
No, he don't need
it look so basic. I think that jump over the car was one of the greatest dunks of all time. And I'm not saying it's the greatest dunk of all time in dunk contest.
No, you don't have to couch that. It was an incredible dunk. It was phenomenal.
It was crazy. Of all time. I mean, there's many dunks we could go. We can't really say what's number one. Everybody had their own opinion. See, Blake Griffin jumped over the hood of the car. He jumped over the car, jumped on another person.
Right.
For him to be about 6'1".
He's 6'2". He's 6'2". Blake Griffin 6'10". So I'm with you. I'm with you, Bruce.
For him to jump like that and his body control in the air is something I never seen. Like I'm gonna give him his flowers on that.
That's crazy. I agree with you.
Control in the air. Look, but I get what you're saying. The props can be a little. It could be, but his pride, that way he do, he take it to another. His props like jump over someone and tap the rim and be looking in the rim when he tap the rim and bring it down. It's just a beautiful thing.
Insane.
I get what you're saying. It could be a little corny at times. Yeah, true.
Yeah. That's all I was saying. But I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. It's just the overuse of the props. I feel like can just kind of make it ridiculous. After a while. But I wouldn't say that Mac is just total use of props. This dude he's amazing, bro. He's a graceful flyer. You know what I mean? He's light. It seems like he stays up there a little longer. As people say, hang time is insane. His creativity is amazing. So yeah, I agree with you 100%, bro.
I even went back and looked at his high school dunk. I mean, his mixtape, high school mixtape. He was doing that in the game, in-game, stuff like that in the game.
Yeah.
I got to go back and take a look at that. Yeah. Thanks for saying that. I gotta go look at it now. I'm gonna pull it up.
He's from Gate City in Virginia.
Yep.
Yeah. As far as Draymond Green, I like Draymond, man. He just don't look out his mouth at times. But I respect. Hey, be yourself, man. I ain't trying to change nobody.
Yeah.
You breaking up, Bruce. You breaking up, man.
I said I like Draymond Green because he being here now. You hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. You like Draymond Green, be yourself.
I like some of the stuff Draymond did. But I like him though, because he's speaking, hey, be yourself, man. Look.
Yeah.
Some stuff he shouldn't say in the places that he said at, he's a hothead. So gotta take him for who he is, love him for who he is, and not for who you want him to be, right?
No.
But he could be too hot-headed, and I like his honesty. I like that he expresses. I like it. I like that, man. He's vulnerable. But he ain't going to say that. Hey, what would you rather? How would you rather have it, Bruce?
Nah, I would. Go ahead, man. I'm gonna leave it there. Go ahead.
You don't got to say about that?
Nah, I don't got nothing to say, man. We don't got time to debate tonight, man. You got anything else?
McClung High School highlights, man, are crazy.
Oh, okay.
Bro.
Yeah, Mac McClung. Yeah.
Yeah, so I check in with you, Bruce.
All right, brother, man. I appreciate the call as always. Thank you, Bruce.
All right.
Brandon, I see you were trying to get in, man. Call me back now. You know the number. All right, let's get Brandon. And I don't know if Dante Brown's still here. If Dante Brown's still here, we'll take your call, and that'll be the last one for the night. So let's do that, and then we'll get up out of here. I ain't planning on keeping Q this long. I appreciate you, man.
Nah, it's all good, brother.
Yeah,
it's all good.
Cooper Flag got snuffed tonight. He was probably destroying somebody and talking to him. Oh, man. Brandon, go ahead. Call us.
Yeah, I think it's interesting, man, how you can get these players like McClung and just so many high school standouts, man, college standouts that then eventually don't make it pro, bro, or just don't make it on that level. It's always just bizarre. But that speaks more to, the talent level, you know what I mean, skill set of like the other players, man, on the higher levels.
It's the best of the best, man. I mean,
killers, man.
You know, that's why less than 1% of these players make pro. So you have to be that. You got to be that infinitesimal percentage to get there. And that obviously not saying it can't happen, but that whole business of if you work hard enough, anything can happen. It's kind of selling wolf tickets there.
Yeah, not necessarily.
I'm sure there's an element of luck involved, and there's an element, of work involved. But nah, it's highly unrealistic.
Yeah,
but it could happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a special thing, man.
Yeah,
lightning in a bottle.
No doubt. Well, it looks like that's it, man. I was trying to get Brandon to call in. He had something to say, but looks like we're gonna miss him. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrap up this live right here. Q, man, I really appreciate you joining us. Before we get out of here, man, tell the people where they can find you, and then we'll say goodnight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for having me. I'm a huge fan of the Format Podcast. Fit with a P. You know what I'm saying? But
here you go, Brandon. Hold on.
Brandon's calling? Okay, sweet.
Yeah, hold on.
Before I say my salutations.
Yeah, what you over there doing, man? You putting the girls to bed or something?
Man, I'm hustling, brother. Put the kids to bed, I'll make a little extra money.
No doubt, man. What you got?
First off,
yes, sir.
I want to know why my man repping DC ain't saying about the Wizards yet. That's all I want.
Ain't saying about what?
He said, you repping DC, you ain't saying nothing about the Wizards yet.
DC, that's right. But no,
I'm about to say, man. You know what? I don't even get down with the Wizards, and it's not that I don't like them. It's just, man, it seems like it's a conspiracy, bro, to keep the home team down, bro. I don't understand it. You know what I mean?
On the inside.
On the inside. Whole lot of poison in there, bro. Whole lot of rat poison. It's crazy, bro.
That's funny.
Bruce knows I love basketball. I love the NBA. We went to high school together.
Yeah.
And me talk every day about how much I think this game has suffered lately.
Mm-hmm.
I think in-season tournament, trash. I think this new format, trash.
Yeah.
And here's why I think so. I mean, I see what the idea might have been, but here's why it's trash to me. What if Wemby or SJ went off last night? How could they ever say, you remember in 2025 when SJ went for blah, 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 this many points, had this game, and the historic battle between him and so on? You don't get that now with the new format.
That's a great point, Big.
Now, and as far as what Draymond said, Draymond, to me, is what Chuck Barkley was when Chuck first set out into the booth. He going to say whatever the hell he wants to say, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I like that about him. I like the fact that he's not afraid to say what he wants. And just like y'all said, two things can be true.
Yes.
There was so much truth to what he was saying, but come on, we had to earn it. We had to. Yeah, you saying that now, but all y'all hyping these young boys up who ain't earned a damn thing, they get $400 million contracts and they earn nothing yet. So, I mean, make it make sense. You earn it or we not earn it.
Okay? Yeah, that's real.
I already put my point out there about Matt McClung. I like to see him go up with the ball. That's not a big thing for me. And I left my rebuttal for Q as well. You know, when we were talking about the props and all that, I agree. I mean, it was nice to see him jump over the roof of the car. It was.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, we done seen East Bay funk through the legs. We done seen D. Brown cover the eyes. We seen the polish tie the tire out of his eyes and duck blindly.
Yeah.
Like, what else is left? If you think about it, Michael Jordan wasn't the first one to do the jump from the free throw line. I believe that was Larry Nance. But now, whenever it comes up with a contest, you listen to the judges. He's about to try to jump from the free throw line again. Like, it's the way we are as a people, as a society. We don't want to see the same thing over and over again, and that's why I think just a regular dunk wouldn't work. But I agree. I mean, come on, show me that. Could you imagine, like, if somebody just went off and had thunderous dunks left and right like Vince Carter had? I mean, that alone, just the energy, the passion with you dunk is enough to get you the points.
Mm-hmm.
But you already know how that's going to go. I think also, like you said, the MVP was giving us stuff because it was his hometown. Like, if you paid attention to that first game that OGs played against the Rising Stars, they beat the Rising Stars. They kept trying to feed Steph for him to hit the three ball to end it. That's how the Rising Stars got back in that.
Yeah.
I just think overall, like you all talking about the whole Kevin Hart thing, that ain't for you. That's not for you pure basketball fans. That's for those on the edge fans. The only ones watching because it's an all-star. That's to keep them interested. I think what they should have done was like a nation that you said was hey, SJ, tell us about your first all-star memory. What all-star memory do you remember as a kid before you made the league that made you know you wanted to eventually get to the all-star game? Let them talk about it. Or have an interview by that guy. I remember when Isaiah Thomas and have Isaiah doing an interview. Something of that nature. Like I said, bring the players to the league because that's one thing they have over football and baseball. Baseball, they got their helmets on. Football, they got helmets, visors, and face masks on. Basketball, we see. So now we can put a face with the name. So if I know who SGA is by face, and he's talking with whoever, Steph Curry or whoever, now I'm like, okay, that's SGA. I find myself being more attached to him or the sport or the team, and which brings up another whole level of fandom. Think about it. When you think about Mike, you thought about the bald head and the tongue hanging out. Larry Legend, we knew the only white boy baller who was offended if you put a white player on him.
Right.
There were things about guys, Shaq, the master size. There were things about guys that tied you to them. And the NBA, they're missing so much trying to capitalize on the dollars that they take away from the game. Like, to be honest with you, the All-Star game could be great. It really could be great. If you get guys to stop trying to be showboat central in the first half, and then they start playing midway through the third quarter. Okay, that didn't work. Let's switch it up. Let's go World versus U.S. No, they didn't like that. Let's go 4 teams, 1 quarter, first to 40. No, that didn't work. Like you say, East to West, to get the fan voting, go by percentage and stats. Those are the guys that are in. What's the incentive for me to play? Okay, you could do the home court advantage. These guys are lazy as ever. You got an extra day of rest that the NBA can't find you for. You turn it in with your coach, working out with your coach when you use your day. Whatever the case may be.
Yeah, something else.
To me, man, I was excited for nothing. I mean, to be honest with you. I wasn't impressed by any of it. I thought the court was horrible. It was hard to look at.
Oh, my gosh, it was terrible.
The way they broke it was just a fail for me all this weekend.
Yeah.
Period.
It was a shit.
There you go. Yeah. You got anything else, B?
Greatest dunk champion of all time, John Wall. Holla at me.
Yeah, I'm going to let you live with that. All right, B. Appreciate the call, brother. All right, man. Thank you for the call, man. That dude is loyal to the soil, boy. I tell you what. All right, y'all. We're gonna leave it right there, man. Thanks so much for everybody for sticking with us tonight. Thanks to everybody who called in, who is active in the chat. Q, where can the people find you?
Man, catch me right here on YouTube. You know what I mean? When I'm not in the chat comments of the Format Podcast, fat with a P. You can catch me at Opinion Stated. Man, check us out. You know what I mean? Check out the channel, man. A lot of good content, similar on this. But I just like to keep it real based on the facts. You know what I mean? I'm sharing opinion, and all of us are essentially sharing opinion. So nobody can really, be attacked or be put in a position where you're talked down to for your opinion. It's all a matter of opinion, but those that ring much more substantial are typically those that are based in some kind of fact and reality. So catch me on Opinion Stated, man, doing just that, breaking it down just based on the facts and sharing opinions, you know what I mean, based on that.
There you go. All right, brother. Again, I appreciate it. And everybody have a good night. We will see y'all Wednesday. Damn, it's Monday. Yeah, we'll see y'all Wednesday. And we out. Peace.
Blessings.